Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And tonight
Let's
we have
get into it.
Terrible news. Terrible news. I started ovulating last night.
I knew there was something different about you. You had a glow.
Yeah, that's what it means when you don't believe in yourself. That's what I was told.
Yeah, well, we've got a bang-up show for you all tonight. You're going to definitely hate every pick that I've picked because it was loaded with semen. I mean, good talent. Good movies that came out in 99. Just a loaded burrito of good movie semen.
And for those listening on YouTube, he's not talking about the dirty kind. He's talking about a boat of seamen.
Yeah, like a lot of sailors were really big movie theater goers in 1999, and that's why they made the movie so good, because a lot of those guys came home to watch movies.
A lot of pride in our Navy in 1999. A lot of pride in our Navy today. I'll say that.
YMCA.
Yeah, YMCA, construction workers, Indians, love them. Who else we got in there? Who else is in the
cop?
There's cops. We love cops.
Construction worker, a village Indian.
Yeah.
Cop.
Basically the five.
I think there was an electrician.
Yeah, there is an electrician. Yes, I knew that because of Wayne's World too, because he's on the. I don't know what we're saying. How are you guys doing tonight? How's it going? We do. Check this out. Look what I made. I made something. It's so freaking fancy. I can't wait to stick it in. Look at this. It's so pretty.
Oh yeah, it's quite enjoy.
It's like when you come over and someone's wife's like, "Look, I decorated for Christmas." It's lovely.
Yeah, with the Dollar General decorations, really set it up.
Hey, those go a long way if you know what to do with them. You can spend a lot of money at Dollar General.
I'm too lazy to even do it. I hate doing all that stuff. We just put a Christmas tree up and that's it.
Yeah. So, well, I'm a lazy dad when it comes to putting up decorations outside. Obviously, Halloween we go big on it. Didn't this year, usually do, but like I'm not good at putting up lights. I will put them all up. I'll get on a ladder, do the whole thing, and then they'll fall down, and then they'll get rained on, and they'll stop working. And I know myself, and I won't fix them right. So I you know what I did, dude? I went to if you go to Lowe's, you can get these like stands that you just put one stand in, and it just projects lights across your entire house, so it looks like you did a whole bunch of stuff. But really, you just paid $50 and plugged in like a projection, and it makes your house look festive.
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly, and that's what I tell my wife I'm doing in the bedroom.
Speaking of being harder, I watched Twilight again for the first time yesterday.
Fantastic film.
It was dude. I know it's classic. No, I don't know why I watched it. I think I was just bored. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I wanted to watch a vampire movie, and I hadn't seen it in a long time. And I'm using I'm using the vampire word loosely. What?
Wait. So when you said I watched,
I'm into men. I'm into men, obviously.
No, when you said I watched Twilight yesterday, I assumed, as did everyone in the chat, correct chat, that Jay's wife wanted to watch Twilight, and he said, "Okay, I'll watch it with you because he's a good guy." So you were alone and you decided to watch Twilight?
Yeah, well, sometimes I like to go into the depths of hell and like see what's up there. I don't know. It's like watching murder videos on Twitter. You don't know why you're watching it, but you just watch it.
That's so weird. Why would you do that?
No, what I did was I skipped around. I didn't watch all of it, but I am Team Edward all the way. Fuck Jacob. Straight up. I don't like Jacob. But anyway, I will say I remember it was just as bad as I always remembered. I thought maybe I was too harsh on it in my younger years. Maybe it's not that bad. It was awful. And you can definitely tell that Robert Pattinson was doing it all for a check, even though he's even come out and said he was doing it all for a check. But I remember the first time I did watch that dude, it was literally like, you remember that scene in The Army Now with Pauly Shore? Because I was literally made to watch it. Like I couldn't get out of it. And I felt like after a while I just broke down. I was like, is it hot in chat? Where it's like where they were trying to convince each other, like convince the army guy that they were gay. And he's like, all right, we'll kiss him. And he was like, no, I can't. He's like, is it hot in chat? That's what I felt like. But you know what? Honestly, it's a terrible, terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. When we get to the 2000s, I think that movie came out in 2007. Yeah. I don't know how. I really would be interested to see where it is on an IMDb list, like based on popularity.
I mean, if we got really desperate, I guess at some point we could go back through and do. I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense. You can't. I've always found like the worst movie of the year list to be dumb, not because like it's offensive or whatever, but just because like you'd have to watch a lot of really shitty movies. Like most of us who watch movies, right? Like you can see a trailer for something and you can be like, that's going to stink butt. You know what I mean? Like that's going to tongue punch buttholes. You know it in your heart. So you don't even
like
bother
that cinnamon
watching
ring.
Yeah. Like you know that you're not, so like I can't do a top 10 worst movies because I feel like I'm smart enough to avoid at least 70% of them. But like we could go back and do like the movies we saw in each year, like top 10 worst movies we saw.
That actually, I was thinking about it. Yeah, like we could pick out 10 movies, either a piece or just maybe we could let the beautiful community vote on it. 10 movies that generally have unfavorable reviews, and then review them.
Yeah, but then we'd have to watch them.
I know that's
you
bad.
know.
Hey, dude, imagine doing a man versus movie and all the Twilights. Imagine God, that hellscape.
I feel like you're trying to talk me into it. I feel like you're kind of into it right now.
I think it would be entertaining, but I just I don't think I have the strength. It's like like you know that dude, the brother-in-law, the brother in Mrs. Doubtfire, when he's like, "Can you make me into Joe Colley?" He's like, "Oh, I don't think I have the strength." That's how I felt. Like, I don't have the strength. It would be awful, dude.
Can we just step back for a second though? Like, you were alone? You watched Twilight alone?
I watched it with people.
With who? But don't say the dog.
No. Well, some people consider their animals human companions, but I would say I watched it with you know how like those people do reaction videos?
Yeah.
I watched it alone.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you watched someone else's
I didn't pick it on, like I didn't go like on Amazon and rent it.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I mean, paying for it's one thing, but like I just thought you were alone in your living room, hand down your pants, Al Bundy, trying to find something to watch. Maybe April was asleep at work, and you were like, "I think I could go for some Twilight right now." But you were watching YouTube videos, and you watched someone else watch it.
The only time I have my hands down my pants watching a movie is 50 Shades of Grey, and that's only on Christmas Eve. That's never on, never before Thanksgiving. But no, yeah, it was awful. But I did like watching it along with that. There was a dude that was all he was doing was making fun of it, and the girl was like, "Oh my god, that's so beautiful," and then he was making fun of it. And I was like, "Yeah, that movie is designed for teenagers. There's no way a dude could be into that. I'm sorry, there's just no way."
Well, I do appreciate my wife for that time in our lives because she would go. This is right when our girls were real young. I remember MJ was a baby, and her friend came over, and they went to watch the movie. And I was watching the Vikings game, and they went to watch the movie. Whatever. This is a specific memory in my head of them going to see the movie because I'm like, I don't care. I will definitely watch The Child so that you guys can go enjoy it. But like, even she loved the books, enjoyed the books. But even she would be like, no, I understand that the books suck and the movies suck even fucking worse. I just like to go. And I was like, well, at least you can admit that. Because some women are like, they're fantastic. You're just stupid.
No, that's what I was trying to do. I was going to go. I was like, maybe I was too harsh on it. But no, it's awful. It's a really bad movie. It's a really
who directed like most of those movies is the guy who directed Candyman 2. No. You're thinking Resident Evil.
Oh,
those are shitty too.
No, they're all right.
Brian Condon. He directed Dreamgirls and he directed Candyman 2 and he directed like the first 2 Twilight movies or some shit like that.
That guy was.
How do you go from Candyman 2 to Twilight?
That guy owed somebody a favor or something. He was caught at a P. Diddy party and they're like, "You're going to do this movie or we're going to expose you with baby oil." And he was like, "All right, I'll do it."
Yeah. If you were a director, like as big as those books were, dude, you'd have to be crazy not to accept a job directing.
Well, yeah, if you were as good looking as Robert Pattinson, they're like, "Hey, you're going to play Edward Cullen in this big giant franchise movie, and you're going to get lots of money." He's like, "Yeah, I'll sell my soul to the devil. I'll touch a PP. Yeah. I'll touch a PP."
Who wouldn't touch a PP just for fun? But my question is like, the thing about I'm Team Edward too. By the way, I've seen maybe a little bit of those movies by force, but like. If I had, I definitely would be Team Edward because I always hated Taylor Lautner's dumb face.
Taylor Lautner, that's his name. Yeah, I couldn't think of that turd's name. I mean, he has great hair in the movie, by the way, amazing hair. But I was getting confused with Taylor Kitsch. Taylor Kitsch was the other one. Like somebody. Taylor's and Bryce's. Hey, we're gonna go to Bryce's house later on and pick up Skylar on the way, and then get pancakes at Connor's house.
Dude, definitely looks like
white boy names. Even though I know that Taylor Lautner is not white, but. It was all, but yeah. Well, first off, and it was the only time I would honestly side with the vampire against the werewolf because Taylor Lautner's character are werewolves in that movie, but they're pussy werewolves. I don't like those versions of werewolves at all. The werewolves that are true werewolves, I'm just talking about like combat werewolves is Underworld. Those werewolves are awesome. Those are badass werewolves.
Yeah. Well, I just think, I just want to say for one thing, like I don't even think women thought Robert Pattinson was even attractive. I think they were lying.
I
think they gave them a product and they went, "Ooh, it's so hot." I don't even think they thought he was hot in that movie.
Let's ask the audience. What was he hotter? Is Robert Pattinson hotter?
Well, Jay, to do that, we'd have to have women here.
There's a lot of feminine men that can answer this question, and it's fine. Was Robert Pattinson hotter? I'll answer the question. I don't give a hell. Was Robert Pattinson hotter as Edward Cullen or as Bruce Wayne, aka Batman? Where was he more attractive?
That's an easy answer. It's easily
for
Batman.
us, but I want to know about our femboys out there.
Maybe for you, it's like Christian Bale's like, good for you. Well, good for you.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, Batman is Batman. Like, no matter who plays that dude's always going to be more attractive. I mean, George Clooney was already attractive, but he was already like a 15 when he played Batman. That movie sucked.
I like the nighttime said yes.
Yeah, just to both questions. He was attractive no matter what. But whatever happened, dude, you guys there was another dude in that movie in Twilight. I can't remember his name, but he was going to be Hercules. Remember when Hercules came out and it opened opposite of I think The Rock, or I don't know, but it was awful. It was like that. He was like a pretty boy type of dude. What the hell was his name? In Twilight. No, he looked like a douchebag, dude. Like if he was like
everyone in Twilight looked like a douchebag.
No, but this was this was like if you drew a picture of what a douchebag looks like in high school, like he's number one in a Webster dictionary. Like the haircut, everything. What the fuck? It was Hercules. It was like a 2006 movie or 2005 or something. No, it wasn't The Rock. It was this kid.
I think I know who you're talking about. He was in like Expendables 3 or some shit.
Yeah, it sucked. Expendables 3. Yeah, he was in Expendables 3, and I was like, oh shit, you brought that dude in? Kellen Lutz.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I saw that dude. I was like, you're awful. Yeah, I was like, that guy right there. I was like, that's your next big Hollywood guy, right, guys? Yep, that's who it's gonna be. I was like, fucking hopes and dreams.
You know what's weird though is that like movies in the 90s that like were chick flicks, like supposed chick flicks, I could get down with today. You know what I mean? Like I would have no problem sit down like, watching She's All That or like some skirted the line really well.
10 Things I Hate About You was a chick flick, but it was an awesome movie.
And
Can't Hardly Wait was a chick flick movie.
That would, I guess that kind of counts. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
I think
borderline,
but like borderline. But movies like that, even like, I would much rather go back and watch like Never Been Kissed Today or whatever.
I like that
some
movie.
Shit like that. Then I would watch, but like the time of like Twilight and shit like that, none of those movies actually ended up being good movies. I think you could say some like the 90s chick flicks, rom-coms, whatever, would be watchable today. But a lot of the movies, like when the fan fiction and the books and shit got big, a lot of that shit's just completely unwatchable as a whole. It was just
it's like Robert Downey Jr. on top of that. It's like, you went full Fimbot. You never go full Fimbot. That's literally was designed for vagina. 100%. That movie was designed for vagina.
That's right. Clueless, you could technically call that a chick flick. Amazing film.
Yep, that was great. Yeah, and like those. Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore. Well, yeah, even Mean Girls, Jawbreaker, but that's not really. I never really liked Jawbreaker. I know that some people did.
I never watched Jawbreaker. Actually, I've never seen that. I don't like Rose McGowan.
Well, maybe that's why
I like to look at her in the 90s, but I don't like her.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, your camera looks like it's on dial-up tonight. It's having a fucking fever fit.
It's not on dial-up. It's on MetaQuest. I don't know what it is, guys. I'm telling you what. I know the suggestions. I heard them. I turned that clock off. I literally turned it away. I took it out of the room like it was the devil. It doesn't matter. The camera just doesn't like the darkness in here, I guess.
It's not that it's focusing tonight. It's lagging. It's like weirdly lagging. That's a spectrum issue.
It is. Well, where I live in Lexington, apparently, if one raindrop comes down, the Spectrum internet just says, "Fuck it, we're not having internet tonight."
Is it raining there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just ugly here. It's not even raining. It'll get better. That gives me hope it'll get better.
Maybe it's just the crippling depression in this room that's causing it.
Tim 27 McChickens for the first super chat. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that, man. He says my top 10 of 1999 is number 1, Deep Blue Sea. That's a terrible choice.
Strong.
Number 2, The Mummy.
Strong.
Lake Placid. Tarzan. Fuck, I don't even.
Man.
That's not even. Is that the Brendan Fraser Tarzan you're talking about? That's not even the. Damn. South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, just like my dick. There's a lot to unpack there. Dogma, great one. Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo. Galaxy Quest, Big Daddy, and The Green Mile.
Well, I can safely say that's the dumbest list I've ever heard of, but it's a great one for you. No, it's actually I do give you The Mummy's great. The Green Mile, Big Daddy, Galaxy Quest. A lot of people, it's weird. A lot of people haven't seen that or don't talk about that. That movie is incredibly good, and I've always felt like Dogma is one of the best Kevin Smith movies he's ever done. Yeah. Like obviously Clerks and Mallrats, but Dogma itself is so different than anything he'd ever done. I love it.
he said, dude, it was weird because I was like 1:00 in the morning on like Sunday night, and I was trying to calm down from all the exciting NFL action that I betrothed upon myself throughout the day. Get laid. Yeah, no, but I was sitting there and Variety or some, I think Deadline reported, they were like, Kevin Smith says that Dogma 2 is happening and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are both signed on to star in the movie. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this could be great. If they're going to sign on for it to star in it, I think it's going to be the legit thing. It could be great. And then immediately afterwards, Kevin Smith goes, no, I said that I had an idea for Dogma 2 and I'm working on it. I have no idea if those guys will sign up for it or not. So,
well, I mean, Ben Affleck's pretty depressed right now. He's not got much going on except for a bottle of bourbon. So sign that man up to make him a renegade angel again.
He seems like he's doing way better now that J-Lo's out of his life, honestly.
I saw a new picture of Nudie. Like, he has a weird, like a bad haircut. I'm not the one to talk about hair, obviously. I look like Dracula. But I'm saying, like, he had a bad haircut and a leather jacket and a motorcycle. They're like, that guy's going through a midlife crisis bad right now. Like, he looked like fucking Adam Sandler and Billy Madison going back to school. I was waiting on him to pull out an REO Speedwagon and hang out in front of a Trans Am. But whatever.
Maybe it's for a role he's doing. I don't know what's going on with my hair, dude. Look at this shit. Like, I got this, like, this is always here now. This, like, Rob Thomas wearing a hat.
You look like. Tell me about the buttered sausages. Gary Busey. Buttered sausages.
Let's talk about buttered sausages. Where they are, where they came from, why are they here? Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I said Rob Thomas, and like it would look good on Rob Thomas. I understand it doesn't look good on me. I look like a special kid at the coffee shop. I don't know where I'm going.
Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it.
Tim, hey Michael J, my wife and I want to send you guys something for Christmas. Is there a specific place I can mail it to? Thanks, you guys are all right now. It's in the description box. My internet just took a hot shit for a second.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know if it was mine or not. Like, I thought it was mine. That's why I like stood like this, because I didn't want to have a bad freeze phrase. Like, every time my internet cuts off, it's always on the stupidest face I can make one or something like that.
Yeah, no, my wireless is down real low right now, so maybe there's something going on in the world today.
Something happened here.
What's going on in the world today? People fighting.
And I feel bad about what I said earlier about your list. I think it was the best list I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, see, he was the one in control of the internet. That's why that shit happened. Adrian, the year is 1999. I'm 10. We shouldn't be here, okay? And I judge your parents wholeheartedly.
Get out of here, Adrian.
The stream. Nintendo 64, PS1 at the height of their catalogs. WCW will enjoy its last good year. Eminem debuted. What a time to be alive. God dang right,
it was a good time, man. It was a good time. I think I was like 14 or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, dude, it was a good year. It was an awesome year.
By then, I think most of us actually had the internet. We actually remember you get those AOL discs in the mail with like 10 free hours or whatever. I finally got my parents to let us do it, and then we sat around all day jerking off to it. Not me and my parents. That would be fucking weird. But like,
I call that family bonding in Alabama. That's what that
is. Yeah, that's how you end up with YouTube as a career with a family like that. No, yeah, that's all we did with that shit, man. We just went in chat rooms, age, sex, location. Who wants to?
I remember I had multiple Cybersex because I did the RPG. Yeah, Marvel. I played a superhero in an RPG. I mean, dude, I'm telling you what, I had multiple Cybersex. Good times.
Do you ever, after all that sex, basically you were sexting strangers about?
Yeah, and they were like 40-year-old women.
Yeah, in one case,
it could have been men.
Yeah, well, in one case, right after it was over with, and it was a good one too. It was a nice little sesh that me and this person had. Nice conversation going on. Your friends would be over and be like, dude, I'm going to say this, and afterwards they go, by the way, I'm a 6'4" black man named Bubba. And you're like,
what I always wanted.
Am I gay? Dude, I'm here. I'm queer. Stop by sometime for a beer. I don't know.
I remember one of the most awkward conversations I had when I had stopped doing it. Like, I quit playing the RPG stuff I've done it for years. I even used, like, what was that called where you could build your own website? Like, it was like you could build your profile page, like Fire Stick. What like back in the olden days where you could like I can't remember the
They're
name.
not talking about MySpace.
No, it wasn't MySpace. It was like you could make a website. It wasn't. I can't remember. Anyway, I was deep into it, but I quit doing it, and then I got back on there. I logged back into my AOL account like years later, and that girl that I used to Cybersex with it, she's like, "Oh my God, is that so and so?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "What's up?" And then we were talking and shit because I felt like I was like, we were actors, we were stage actors. That wasn't real. We were having stage show acting. It wasn't real. And then she said something like, I don't know why. I said, "Oh, I was only 15 or 16," and she's like, "You were fucking 15?" And I'm like, or 16. I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "How old were you?" She was in her fucking 40s, dude.
Oh, pervert! She should get her. Dude, you should get her. You should Me Too her ass. You should put that shit online.
And then she was like, "Well, this is awkward. Haha, how old are you now?" I was like, "I'm 18." And then she's like, "Oh, well, then it's not so awkward." I was like, "You nasty."
See,
I think you're married too.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, but I swear, yeah, I just looked at it as like a stage show. I was like, we were just putting on art, masterpiece.
It's not art. What is this, cuties? Oh
hey,
my
dude,
God.
I'll tell you what, my shit was descriptive. It was good.
You were basically LL Cool J, and H was like, "You're round melons."
I felt like John Cusack in The Dark Half, or not John Cusack, Johnny Depp in that one movie where he's a writer. He's like what's the
Secret Window?
Secret Window, yeah.
But let me ask this: like, of all those years of like basically sexting strangers, pretending that you're superheroes, do you ever find yourself reading a comic book and you just start to get like a questionable boner out of nowhere?
Yeah,
and it's not like Jean Grey, but you're looking at like Steve Rogers shirtless.
No, it wasn't that. Those chicks like in the 90s comic books were hot as fuck, dude. Oh my God, they didn't draw them like that anymore. So yeah, I was like, that's hot as hell, dude. Yeah, I was like, I had sex with them. I mean, it was fake, it was on the internet, but I did. It was fun. It was fun. It helped. You know what? It helped you with your language. I did really good in English in high school because of that.
And what'd you do with all that knowledge? All those ideas you came up with in your sick little perverted 14-year-old.
I don't know. I should have wrote 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, you grew up to be an adult, and now you're like, I don't ever do anything outside of the normal.
Yeah, you know what? Because I let my imagination run free, and that's what the internet was there for, to let my imagination run free. I stay vanilla in the bedroom, and I let my imagination fly freak on the internet.
Oh my! I don't know if we said anything about what Adrian was talking about, but that was still a good conversation.
Well, he was going to send us some Christmas presents.
Oh, that was the guy before. Nighttime says, Luma's challenge, does it have a slant or a curve to it? Listen, I was told from a lady friend, could have been a male, I'm not sure, it was dark, that they like it when it's curved up and not to the left. So what I did was, I have a 1997 Miata, the smallest doors I have. I have a lot of cars, I'm a doctor, and I went outside and I smashed. I did a lot of glue sniffing. Went out there, took a shot of early times, and I smashed my dick in the door. But I did it backwards, so now it curves down. And I haven't found out yet. No one's responded to my Reddit posts on whether or not women do enjoy that as well. But I hear that men do. So 50-50.
The only curve I'm going to talk to you about nighttime is that curvy eye. I've heard of wonder eyes, but that motherfucker's drawing unemployment. Get out of my face, lazy eye. I don't want to talk to you. That's why you wear that mask. I got that from the roast of James Franco. I can't remember the roaster. He was like talking about, I don't remember Bill Hader. It's like, I've heard of lazy eyes before, but that motherfucker's drawing unemployment. He's like, hey, Bill Hader, could you maybe play a part where you have two equally like sized eyes? Or is that too impossible? I was like, oh my God.
God damn.
Jeff Ross. It was Jeff Ross that was roasting.
That makes sense. Blue Toro Sports says, y'all seen episode 6 through 10 of the final season of Cobra Kai yet? No, because Netflix didn't offer them to us. So we said, fuck it. We're not ever watching ever. I'm just kidding. We didn't like the last season at all. I will definitely eventually watch it because I'm a completist and we're almost to the end, but I think it's gone the way of doing.
Well,
what do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I'm going to watch it too, but I don't understand. Like, I don't know if it was Michael Parton or somebody last stream was saying that they're going to make another season. I thought we were done. But you just said the final season, so I don't understand. Is there another?
They're breaking
season?
it up into like 3 parts.
Oh,
like
shit.
douches, you know. So
shit. I don't have time for that. Shit.
What do you guys think about it though? Did you like it? Do you like that? Do you like when I do that? Robin, Mike, and Jay, favorite Stephen King adaptation?
Well, you know what? People are going to say it's not really a Stephen King adaptation, but I mean, as far as like cinematic masterpiece, it's The Shining. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, but that is basically. That's his adaptation, and I know that Stephen King hates that, But I guess if that was just straight Stephen King involved, and like it was based as much close to his vision that it could be on screen. So I think the Shawshank Redemption is probably the best as far as Stephen King being involved with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with The Mist. Not that you're wrong, and The Shining is definitely the best one. But again, I also don't count that really as a Stephen King adaptation because he hated it. So I'll say The Mist, man. I think The Mist is the one that just really sticks in my crawl for me, and I love Thomas Jane.
Well, interesting side note to that: the ending of The Mist was completely different than the book. They wrote that, and Stephen King was like, that was like amazing. Like he said, like that's awesome. Imagine that being a director of that movie and being as close to the original material as you can be, and then writing that extra scene in there to give it a little ump. And then the writer's like, man, that was great.
Yeah,
it was like I don't remember how the original The Mist ended, but the way that movie ended was fucking powerful shit, dude.
I would agree with you. The only thing about that would make me kind of second guess is the fact that Stephen King has terrible taste in movies. He has the worst fucking taste in movies, dude. Like he was like Night Swim was really great and like shit like that. And he's also really bad at Twitter. Like you would think the world's greatest like writer. It's not that I disagree. I'm not mad at what he's saying. It's just that he's not good at it. He's not clever.
I literally like he acts like the fucking Tommy knockers are literally coming down from the sky ready to snatch up your buttholes. Like I was like, come on, dude, get off the internet for 5 seconds or write another fucking book. Holy shit.
Basically, because like he's the one person you could be like, dude, you're terribly online, but he's like, yeah, I wrote 17 books.
I was like, and yeah, you sound like a bored ass old man shouting at the world because it didn't go your way. Shut the fuck up. Write a book. If I had your talent, dude, I would not be online all the time.
Jason Perez says, "What's up? Hope all is well. Last stream was lit. Thanks, dude.
Hey, thank you, man. Really appreciate that. I question your compliment though because your profile pic is flipping us off.
Well,
secretly.
Maybe he doesn't have control of his left hand. Matt Roberts, thanks, buddy. Why are you looking? Stop looking at me, Swan.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
That's every man's face, every middle-aged man's face when his wife tells him to lock the door. It's probably going to get laid for the first time in 6 months. Can't wait. By the way, I'm not speaking of personal experience. I have a wonderful sex life. Okay. I have a wonderful sex life. Can't watch live tonight because I'm decorating for Christmas with the fam. So can Loomis and Chalice tell me their favorite Christmas memory? No, because you should stop spending time with your family and spend more time with us. How about that, Matt? How about that, Matt?
It was weeks before Christmas, and all through the house, I couldn't hear Michael dying. And that was terrible. What an awful Christmas it was. And then Matt Roberts, the rhinestone cowboy, comes on and asks me to tell him a Christmas story while he decorates with his family, which he should be focusing on. My favorite Christmas story is the one that ends that Matt Roberts didn't ask that question. Decorate your tree, wear your Santa Claus hat, and shut your mouth.
Yeah. My favorite Christmas memory, of course, it involves my kids. I dropped them off at Linda's, and I went on a date with this hot piece of ass. Okay, and his name was Tom. I mean, her name was Tanya.
Dodging bullets like the Matrix.
What? Yeah, you know, I remember there was a tree. We went to a party. This guy rhymes with something like 50, maybe it was 50 Cent. I'm not sure. I'm a doctor. I party with a lot of famous people, but it's something like that. There was a tree, and someone gave me a baby. I don't know why the baby was there, but there was a tree, and it was lined with snow. And I was like, "Happy Merry Christmas," and they were like, "That's not snow. That's snow." And we snorted it all the way up to the tree. And
you mean the rapper Snow wasn't there doing party favors? Interesting.
That's who it was. It was the rapper Snow.
Informer.
It was it. That's why it makes sense. Holy shit.
And now we know who dumped all the files on P. Diddy. It was the informer.
It was Chalice.
It was the informer.
Chalice. Agatha all along. Chalice all along.
Oh, God, dude. I'm not ever watching that piece of shit.
I miss young ass. Well, you should be careful how you... Oh, I miss youth adult adaptations like Harry Potter, Twilight, The Hunger Games, Maze Runner, and Divergent. I feel like that era is over. And I agree with you, and I'm thankful, though. But not for you. Well, I'm sad that you're sad.
I liked Harry Potter. I never got into The Hunger Games or the other ones, but Harry Potter was good. Yeah, I don't know. People aren't reading books anymore. Like people are getting dumber and staying online and going to Blue Sky and shit and Twitter and having wars. So we don't have time to read books.
Yeah, it's Blue Sky's fault the children aren't reading.
Blue Sky versus Twitter all day long. Shit, I'm gonna watch that shit. But I think it's just because the market kind of dried up. It was like that one space in time that it was like constantly an adaptation was coming out, and then it just kind of dried up. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, you'll probably. I mean, I'm sure it'll come back around, but I haven't seen anything with the popularity like with Harry Potter or Twilight come around in a long time. I guess 50 Shades of Grey was the biggest one for sluts, but other than that,
yeah, it's weird, dude. You're absolutely right. Like I never thought about that, but it seems like the youth adaptation book craze is over with. But at least kids were reading, right? They were reading smut. But at least they're reading.
Yeah, there was a word for that 50 Shades of Grey book. It was called smut magazines. You dirty whores. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, I want a man to treat me with respect, and I pay for dinner and open the door." But then in the book, they're like, "I'm gonna slap you in the fucking face and put this big old raging wiener in your butthole, and you're gonna like it, and I'm gonna spit in your mouth." And you're like, "Oh shit." Dude, it was some graphic ass shit in that book. And I remember when that movie was coming out, everybody was pissed off that dude didn't hold up to their fantasy of what their dude looked like. I was like, yeah, it sounds like you want the Undertaker to not rape you, but rage your vagina for a while. Like that.
Though they have those, dude. They have those like fiction books, fan fiction on these online apps where it's like I fucked the monster or I fucked the giant goat monster, and it had like a like some women are into that. Like they want to be banged by like weird nether beasts, you know?
Yeah, it's like you just can't trust the chicks. I mean, you get out there, they're all sweet and they look like Jennifer Love Hewitt and they've got a really nice like girl next door attitude, and all of a sudden they turn into like Courtney Love, like doing a stream. She's like, "Oh, I could squirt." And you're like, "What?"
Like I'd be into it if I could be the monster, but like you find your wife reading that stuff and you're probably like, "Oh God, I could never compare. I'm doomed. Everything's doomed." Gary, the only excuse that one guy can ever say for watching Twilight is Kristen Stewart was hot at the time. I think she's still hot.
She was. I thought she was cute. She looked like she was dying of constipation the entire time in that movie. She was like,
that was more of a personality issue.
Edward. Yeah, it's like I was like, get this bitch a Pepto. Like it's bad.
Remember the fucking script? Like, what was that dumb
shit? What was she? Kristen Stewart was in that movie not long ago though. Where they were in like an underground research facility on the ocean floor. That was a good movie.
Yeah, the underwater Godzilla movie.
That was she was decent in that. Like her acting ability got like a little bit better, but
I think she's a good actress. I do. I've seen her in some stuff. She was good at Adventureland. I've seen her do some good stuff for sure.
She had the range of friggin' Woody from Toy Story, like wooden acting.
Pastor Ross, Gary. Pastor Ross. Yeah, dude. I didn't like that she cheated on Robert Pattinson, but he's gonna be fine. Craig Adams says, "Has Jay seen Longlegs?"
We're waiting on it. We're gonna see it together.
Longlegs. Yeah. We're going to be watching that for the first time together. I've already seen it. Jay's going to be watching the first time with me. We're going to cut a commentary for it and make a video out of his first time watch that, as well as several other things. It's going to be a good time.
By the way, we're also going to be doing another live stream this Friday. So you guys mark your calendars. We're going to be back here live with y'all. Don't y'all cry. We're going to come on back
Friday. And I don't think there's going to be any rain. So we might be good on that front as well. I think it might snow, actually. Gary B says, episode 6 through 10 was much better than 1 through 5, in my opinion, for Cobra Kai. That's good to hear. It's good to hear.
Well, I don't want to ask for spoilers, but I wonder if I always thought they were going to bring back Hilary Swank for like the last episode because she'd be the final Karate Kid.
That seems reaching.
They have all their powers united and make a Voltron robot.
No, dude. No, not if you're not going to include little Will Smith, then just don't bother. All right?
Yeah. Well,
icons.
Jaden Smith is still high on the success of After Earth, and he just doesn't come down to the little people of Cobra Kai anymore for that.
Why would you keep acting after a masterpiece performance?
I don't know. I wouldn't.
No,
that was
I would stop forever.
An odyssey.
Hey, JD with a very fucking sweet super chat. Thank you, JD. Thank you, buddy. It says, "What's up, pretty little princesses?"
Hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing?
Been a minute. Broke my leg. So I'm riding the couch for a few months.
You JD Vance?
The 2 big ones.
What are you doing? I'm kidding.
I need you both to settle a debate. Is Gremlins a Christmas film? How about Batman Returns? I say they are, and the missus says, no, sir. Love your face. It's nice that she calls you sir. My wife does not respect that.
Respect. Does she bow when you come home from work? And she's like, your dinner is served. I was like, thank you. I expect nothing less. Now shut up. No, that's great. Well, first off, Gremlins is absolutely a Christmas movie.
Spaghetti again?
1,000% a Christmas movie. I think it's even marketed. I think the entire movie, it's like they're decorating for Christmas, and he gets Gizmo as a gift. The dad gets Gizmo as a gift to give to his son, and then all the craziness happens. And then Batman Returns they kill the Ice Princess by dropping her on a fucking Christmas tree. If it doesn't get more Christmassy than that, I don't know what does.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Batman driving around, beating the fuck out of a bunch of henchmen, surrounded with Christmas party accoutrement, is as Christmas as it gets. Yeah, Gremlins, definitely a Christmas movie. Batman Returns, definitely a Christmas movie. Obviously, Die Hard, Lethal Weapon. They're all, dude, if they're set during Christmas and they have Christmas, like, okay, let me put it to you this way. I think this, actually, I'm about to end the fucking is this Christmas movie argument for everyone. Look at Halloween 4.
Mm-hmm.
Are we spending Halloween 4 talking about Saul and like where it came from and legendary Christmas or legendary pumpkin patches? No, it's just it has a fucking Halloween aura. The opening is the Halloween aura. There's pumpkins out, pumpkins are around, stuff is around. It's not like they're talking about Halloween the whole movie. Do we consider Halloween 4 a Halloween movie? Fuck yeah, we do. Okay, so in my opinion, these movies that are decorated in all this Christmas shit should also be considered Christmas films.
Well, Halloween 4 definitely lets you know it's a Halloween movie by having Halloween in the title. So
it is true that they aren't called Christmas.
I don't think you're ever gonna like confuse that one. I wonder if this is set during Halloween.
This is true. But like they're not there, but even you're right. They're not called Christmas, so that does help. But still, I mean, even if it didn't, you would call that a Halloween movie, I feel like. So
I don't well, I never got the debate with Die Hard. I always considered Die Hard a Christmas movie. So I don't know. It always just it maybe because it was LA and it was like there was no snow. So maybe it was like it didn't feel like that. I don't know. But it was literally at a Christmas party that all that shit went down.
Yeah, no, 100%. And JD, how did you break your leg, by the way? And I hope you heal well, and I hope you at least got some good pain meds. They don't give those out much anymore these days. They're trying to keep people from getting hooked on crank, you know?
I broke that leg holding up that big cock. It's a lot of weight. A lot of weight.
Thank you so much, JD. I really appreciate that, man. Holly said, "What did I walk in on again?" Which really
I don't know.
Throws me back to
Holly. It's literally
when I was
funny.
hanging out with my stepsister, and my dad would walk. What?
Sweet home Alabama. It's funny because I was watching the live count go up, and it's like we're talking about all that, and it'll go up because then they're like, "Oh, thank God!" Now they're not talking, and it goes back down. I totally get that.
You can't pay attention to it; it'll ruin your night.
I know. I hate looking at it.
Yeah, it's awful. Nighttime said, "Why didn't you guys go to the Corey Feldman Limp Bizkit tour, Loserville? Corey Feldman is the freaking GOAT. If GOAT stands for greatest of all time, shoot, then that's not it." Oh wow! I did not participate in that tour, but I did watch many videos and laughed very heartily because I'm the comeback king.
Man,
wow!
No, dude. I my brain would go nighttime to listen to that. Like I wouldn't even be drunk. It would just go nighttime.
I've watched a lot of Corey Feldman videos, dude. You can't say they're not entertaining.
What's really shitty about Corey Feldman too is that it's not like, good for him doing his thing and he's living his life and good for him. I mean, he did go through a lot of terrible shit, no doubt. But at the end of the day, like I've seen how he acts at conventions. It's just like people randomly going, they'll film and whatever. He seems like a dick. Like he seems like he's really obsessed with himself.
Yeah, it's weird because on one hand you're like, good for fucking you, man. Good for you. But then you also think about a lot of other musicians far more talented who weren't in Lost Boys, who aren't opening for Limp Bizkit. You're like, what? Just be happy with what you got, you little fucker.
Go back to the fucking comic book store, you frog brother bitch.
Speaking of good musicians, Jacob, thanks, buddy. He says, "Sup, dudes? Favorite film 99 is definitely Green Mile. One of the few films that can make me cry. By the way, I just finished recording our album. Told you. Gonna drop a song soon and print CDs. Y'all are definitely getting one since y'all love it. Fuck yeah, dude. Autograph that bitch for me, please.
Thank you, Jacob. Make sure you spell it like Jacob when you autograph it.
Let us know if we can use your music in our videos.
That'd be cool.
We'll do that.
We actually not get copyright slapped for it. That'd be fun.
That'd be awesome, dude. And congratulations, man. That's an accomplishment. It's not easy to do, and those are expensive as fuck to make. Those albums are. But congratulations, man. When you do get it, bring the band name back, and we'll tell everybody to go list that shit on Spotify. Fuck yeah, dude. Adrian, 10, Toy Story 2, 9, Green Mile, 8, American Pie, Blair Witch Project, 6 Sense, Big Daddy, Varsity Blues, The Mummy, Matrix, American Beauty. That's a good list, too.
That's a strong list. Good God.
That's
Vander
really
Holyfield, the real deal. I like to see it.
We have several of the same films in our list. We do. Dude, this list, and we will get right back into the super chats, so please keep those coming. We really do appreciate them. They help a lot. For now, we will jump into the list a little bit here, just a touch, just a tickle. And I gotta ask you, Jay.
What?
What if you did
What?
had sex with a guy?
That'd be gay.
Nuh-uh.
That's
Everyone
true.
knows
It's a manly thing to do.
Yeah, you got to prove it to yourself that you can handle it. My question is this: how hard did you find this list to make, and how hard were you while making this list?
Harder than when I was watching 50 Shades of Grey. It's ridiculous.
Like a rock.
It was like a damn door stopper down there. No, it was really tough because this is the most amount of honorable mentions I think I've ever done on a list.
Yeah, me too.
And I only, but I only scratched out one and replaced it. I did have trouble with my number 6 and 4, but it's whatever.
We're going to do a great big legendary stream where we go back through the entire 90s after this and pick our best movies of the entire decade and make a top 10 of the whole decade. So make sure you're tuning in for that show, John. But do you think there's a possibility that 99 was the best year of all of them?
Maybe. I mean,
it's in the conversation.
I mean, it is, but I mean, 90. I mean, I don't know, dude. Like one of the biggest blockbuster years was like 96, because I have my list here, and I'm going back. But yeah, 96 had a lot of big ones.
I agree. I don't think it'll win the best top 10, but as far as volume, I also have the longest dick in the room, and also I have the longest honorable mentions of any of the decade so far. There was a bunch of fucking great movies, so that's got to be taken into context. What is your number 10 top 10 movie?
My 10th movie is a Christian comedy film. A lot of people should take their family to go see it during Christmas holiday because it really just gives you a joyous moment in time. It's going to be 8mm. What a wonderful Christmas movie. Really brings the family together. Not depressing at all. Not even close to it. Yeah, dude, I listen. This movie came out of nowhere. I remember watching it, and it was so freaking disturbing, dude. Like it was like, because it was so grounded in reality, like this shit was happening or could happen or does happen or whatever. It was so weird. And Joaquin Phoenix with his weird hair, like he looked like he smelled like pee and poop. And like, I don't know, everything about that movie was really good. And then one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when he finds out, I'm not going to spoil it for those that maybe haven't seen it, but there's one particular scene in the movie where Nicolas Cage finds out what happened to the person he was tracking down and like calls the mother and asks for permission. That was such a powerful scene. It was really good. I couldn't believe he didn't get nominated for anything for that movie. Like it was fucking amazing.
Because there's a bunch of fucking in that movie and they didn't want to nominate it.
Yeah. Bunch of
but actually there wasn't that much actual fucking in that movie. It was
it was all alluded to that some really bad shit was going down. But yeah, it was gnarly. Excellent. Like it made you want to take a shower. It was the first time I'd ever seen a psychological horror movie where I wanted to take a shower other than like Hellraiser.
Yeah. And also James Gandolfini, great performance as the bad guy in that. James scary as hell. If you guys haven't seen, that's one of those movies that like kids from our era, whenever someone asks me like, hey, what's a movie that like, is off the beaten path that I may not have seen, 8mm is almost always a go-to. Cause like, I feel like not enough people have seen that and taken its darkness and how weird it is. And again, amazing cast. Nicolas Cage, Joaquin Phoenix as a porn store clerk, and James Gandolfini. Fucking great movie, dude. Great choice.
Yeah, like that actually looks like the actual Joker origins.
He's more the Joker in that movie than he was in Joker 2.
Yeah, I would have watched that 100%.
This was so I had to stick out some fucking great movies for this one, but my number 10 is going to be Stir of Echoes. Another horror.
It's a good movie, dude. Holy shit.
Great film, dude. A great Kevin Bacon. Another one to add to Kevin Bacon's great litany of great horror films. But dude, it's so underrated because it just came out and like a lot. This happened a lot in the 2000s. This being 99, but it was one of those movies that just came out. And everybody's like, oh, it's a whatever. Oh, Kevin Bacon's in a horror movie, whatever. And like horror wasn't a big deal then. People didn't super pay attention to these movies. They would come out and just go through the box office and whatever. And where it wasn't super scary per se, and it didn't have like a specific subgenre to stick to, I feel like it kind of got looked over. But as years have gone on, dude, it's one of the most insanely rewatchable movies ever.
The Baconator was top notch in that movie, and not to mention the fact that I think what happened to it is that it got overshadowed by Sixth Sense. I think it came out
100%.
like, I think the Sixth Sense was such a phenomenal, giant, big movie that it was not the same movie, but it was kind of the same premise, sort of, but that it just got overshadowed by it. But I feel like, I swear to God, dude, I'm not going to spoil it where it is on my list, but it's on my list. Stir of Echoes and The Sixth Sense, that was the one I was having a lot of trouble picking back and forth about where I would list it, because I personally, it depends on the day. Some days Stir of Echoes is a better movie than The Sixth Sense, and then other days The Sixth Sense is just too overwhelmingly cool to not put it higher. But Stir of Echoes is an amazing fucking movie. And
spoiler alert, Sixth Sense didn't even make my top 10. Like I like Stir of Echoes that much more than that movie. I just think it's so entertaining. It doesn't get credit because it does something really cool with the idea of hypnotism. Number one, it's also a really fun, suspenseful, like whodunit kind of movie. And also, my favorite part about the movie, though, is Kevin Bacon's character. He's such a cool, everyday dude. Like, in most horror movies you watch, they all live in a gigantic house and they have really cool jobs. He comes home and he's just an everyday dude, and he even has this conversation. He used to play in a band. He's having trouble with getting older. Like, the character's really well carved out.
That's why I don't fuck with Ouija boards. You all say, oh, it's a game. It's a game. See, he thought it was a game, too, and he let that chick from Hot Topics fuck with his brain, and then he started seeing shit. They were all drunk having a good time because maybe he had latent psychic powers, and she screwed around in there. Like, I think he was like, what were you doing fucking up around in my brain? Like, yeah, you play with a Ouija board, you get Captain Howdy on your wiener hole, and you're screwed for life. I'm not even playing with that stuff.
That hypnotism scene was so good. And then, like, not just that, but like, when he's floating in the movie theater, it's very Donnie Darko-ish also. But like when he's having that conversation with his wife, and he's like, I always just thought I was meant for something more, like that, the way that they handled his character just made that fucking movie for me. I love it.
And it also was shot really well too. It was creepy. It was like, it was shot really well. And I did like the fact that the ghost girl was creepy too, but it was like the first 48 with supernatural tendencies. Like, I don't know. It was like the first 48 A&E, and then it had like supernatural shit going on.
And they did a really good job of making that like a Haddonfield-esque town too. Like everybody was close. You walk across the street and you carry your baby monitor and you party with your friends. Like the middle-aged vibe that they had going on, just a super cool movie.
Well, they also had a cool twist ending too, because the little boy. Well, again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody that's not seen it, but there is a twist ending that it doesn't match what The Sixth Sense did, but it is pretty interesting. With the
watch Stir of Echoes, you guys.
It's really good. Turn the lights off and get out the baby oil.
Fucking give me your number 9.
My number 9 is going to be okay. So originally it was The Mummy. I crossed that out and I put Cruel Intentions. I had to put some Cruel Intentions on there. You got to put some Selma Blair making out with Sarah Michelle Gellar, winning the MTV Best Kiss in 1999. It deserved it. There was a big line of spit. It was great. But no, the movie itself is actually really good. It was it was a movie I probably never would have watched, and I don't know why I rented it. Probably just because I thought Sarah Michelle Gellar was. I was like, I'm gonna see what this is all about. But the story is phenomenal. The soundtrack is great. Dude, it's so good. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain why it's so good. It's just everything, the chemistry, the acting, the story. And it was also the first time I'd ever heard Bittersweet Symphony. I remember, and that ending was so badass. That ending was so cool with when she's coming out. And I was like, that bitch put cocaine in her cross necklace and was snorting that shit. They did that walk of shame, dude. It's so good. And then, but I always thought it was weird, dude. Here's the thing. Did you ever think about this? Freddie Prinze Jr. was, I don't know if he was married to her yet or he was dating Sarah Michelle Gellar. He had just allowed Ryan Phillippe to be her boy, not allowed, but Ryan Phillippe was just playing her boyfriend. And I Know What You Did Last Summer before this. And now it's his stepsister that he's trying to fuck. If I was Freddie Prinze, it's like, what the hell's going on? You're doing another movie with that dude that looks like Wish.com Justin Timberlake. What the hell is going on?
I bet they thought they were going to be like another Rat Pack type of situation. They should have had a bunch more movies together for sure. Dude, that's an amazing movie. And like, think about this. This is crazy. We were talking about earlier about like rom-coms that like back in the 90s actually seeped into like for everyone. They weren't just like terrible, whatever. like Cruel Intentions, by all definitions, could be looked at as a rom-com type movie, but the thriller aspects were so good. The sex stuff was so good. It was more like a Michael Douglas movie in the early 90s, you know, like Disclosure or Basic Instinct or one of those type of movies for like a new generation. And man, how fucked up was it that we were all going to straight boner town watching a stepbrother and sister like hit on each other. Like when she was like, you can put it anywhere, like and then watching chicks make out. Like this was not normal place in film at this point. And we as a youth we were all blessed. Over that shit.
We were blessed, and we give thanks to the gods of the movies of the 1990s. But here's the thing at the end of but yeah, dude, it's so the entire premise of the movie is literally the stepsister is holding out her coochie on her stepbrother and they want to fuck. And then she's basically like, well, if you go make fun of that new bitch, that new girl, and like make her like string her along, then break her heart, I will let you stick it right in my cinnamon ring. I mean, wherever you want to put it. And then he was like, all right. And then he starts falling in love with her. Hey, and then she gets all mad and jealous and shit. Sarah Michelle Gellar does. And I'm like, well, if you just given up the ghost of that vagina, it wouldn't happen. But anyway, yes, it was incredibly taboo movie and incredibly sexy and good. Just a good movie generally.
Awful character, but we still used to quote him all the time just because it was funny. The one dude's like, the Craigster. He's like, this isn't Grandma's house. Suck it. It's the
dude, and you know what? Ryan Phillippe played. Like, honest to God, that was one of the first times I was like, oh, so that's what growth in characters looks like on screen. Because I didn't know a word for it back then, but Ryan Phillippe actually does grow in the movie as the character, where he's the dude. He is the quintessential fucking frat boy asshole in that film. Quintessential prick. And then at the end, he's like
great asshole last summer too.
And then at the end, you're like, yeah, I could probably hang out and listen to like the new Limp Bizkit album with him. I mean, probably not.
You would too. That's what you would do together.
I would. I'd probably hang out with him a lot. Not like because I thought he was hot or anything, just because.
Why would you have to say that? Why would you?
Just because I don't want people to get the wrong idea around here. All right.
But number 9 is going to be another high school classic. Varsity Blues is going to be like, throw that fucking pigskin.
Gotta get
so many quotes. 10 fucking 10.
Bacon.
Listen, man. Not only is this a great high school coming of age comedy, American Pie type whatever movie. It's better than American Pie in my opinion. But they took Friday Night Lights and they made it a comedy. And dude, there's also a lot of great drama in this movie. Like Mox. Yeah. Basically Brett Favre. It's basically the origin story of Brett Favre. You know what I mean? Like the way
he swindles money out of organizations, but yes.
Pre-Brett Favre, good Brett Favre.
Good wholesome one.
But watching him come to terms with being the star quarterback, Sarah Polley was in this, or was it Amy Smart? I was getting confused. I think it's
Amy Smart.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about. By the way, I just want to cut it really quick. I don't know what it is about Amy Smart, dude. Like, I know she's, I'm not saying anything about her as a person. I'm sure she's fine, but there's something about her that just like. She walked by you, dude. You'd smell mayonnaise and like.
Okay, the only.
I don't know what it is. Like it's like a skanky thing. I don't know what it is.
No, she's a super beautiful woman, but the problem is that you watch fucking Butterfly Effect too many times.
Yeah, maybe that one when she's all cracked out, hoed out. Yeah, I'm like, holy shit. I like that apartment smelled like fucking butt crack, straight up old cigarette smoke, liquor, tuna, mayonnaise, all the nasty things that Courtney Love probably smells like is in that one room. And maybe that's what I can't. I feel like John Ramos like I can't get out of bed.
That's 100% what it is, dude.
That's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I guarantee it. But dude,
but she was also kind of shitty in that. But she was a shit. But remember, she was working at the ice cream stand and she got all mad at him because she's like, "Oh, John Mock coming at." Oh, stop being jealous. God damn, I don't get mad when you go get your hair done and your nails done. Let me have this.
He did get immediately a big head though. He's like, Johnny Mox is only one man. Well, you know what I mean? Like with that shit. But but I love that movie. I could watch it any day of the week.
I don't want your life.
And again, great drama in that, dude. There's actually great with Kilmer, or Kilgore, I can't remember exactly, but a great Friday Night Lights, or a great football movie. There Goes My Hero when he's driving it, dude, fucking awesome movie. Love it. If you need a taste,
I can't concentrate. I keep on seeing Miss Petey's big fat ass chuckling in my face or whatever. Dude, imagine that going to the strip club and seeing your hot teacher just doing that. Oh my God.
It's like kids stay with OnlyFans. I imagine it's the same thing.
It's true.
I could see them remaking Varsity Blues and actually making a success out of it. I'm not going to lie to you. It's one of the few movies I could see. Because you could tie it into today's, because they're still Southern football. It still ran the same way. If you got the right actors, replace the stripper teacher with an OnlyFans, all that stuff.
Maybe, yeah, it could probably work.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things in that movie that I don't know if we get away with because I think people get a little sensitive about certain things.
That's actually 100% true. I have to take a pee. I don't want your life. I got to take a pee.
I don't want it, but I'm going to have it.
I'm going to take a pee. If you will jump back into super chit chat, fuck a rack, Burt Bacharachs. We're at Adrian at 841 Pun.
All right.
I shall return momentarily.
All right.
With the loot.
All right. Bring some baby oil, huh? Shit. Adrian Yabara, thank you so much, dude. Says honorable mentions, Ed TV, Eyes Wide Shut, and The Hurricane. What I don't do in the bedroom is definitely not a hurricane, but Ed TV is great. Eyes Wide Shut, I never got into that. I know it was a Stanley Kubrick film and everybody was talking about, but I watched that dude and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I don't even get what I'm watching. It was like I've never even done acid and it felt like I was doing acid. Like, was it just like they went about like a sex cult or something? I was like, was it the initiation into Scientology? I don't know. It was just a weird movie for me, but Hurricane was good in Ed TV. Both great movies. Crazy Saint, thank you so much, says, sup, mukakas, love your fucking faces. Would Loomis and Chalice Rater, what? See Constantine 2 with Keanu or Blade 4 with Wesley. Thanks for always showing love. Oh, no doubt, man. I would like to see Blade 4 with Wesley Snipes. That man evaded taxes like a ghost, got caught, paid his dues. Now he comes back. He was in a Ryan Reynolds movie, Pool of Dead versus the Wolverine. And yeah, I'd like to see Blade come back one more time. Slice up some Twilight bitches. I would do that. But I would, honest to God, I probably would rather see Blade 4 with Wesley. I Constantine 2 would be great. I think Constantine is overlooked as well. I think that's a great movie. I know it's not exactly comic book accurate, I understand, but it's still a great movie. But I would love to see Wesley Snipes come back for one more Blade movie because Blade 3 kind of sucked. Blade Trinity was a pretty bad movie, but thank you so much, Crazy Saint. Scrolling through. Gary B. 1996, I was sexually abused by a priest that year. What the fuck? Are you serious, dude? Oh my God. I hope that's not true. Well, if it is true, I'm sorry. We should have brought up the stuff, but why you make it feel all weird now? I'm sorry. I don't even know what to say to that. Holy shit, Gary. Are you fucking with us? What's F96? I don't know what that even means, but thanks for the information, dude. I'm sorry. Lee the Machine Bowers, thank you so much. Coming in with some big hotness. Hey, sexiness, y'all amazing and y'all rock. Hey, Loomis and Chalice, it's almost time for karaoke. And Chalice, remember, you're a doctor, so investigate the glory hole. Love y'all. Keep on rocking. Thank you, Lee. I'm sure that goddamn deviant will explore it and give it STDs, that glory hole. No doubts about it. That he does. He's like a goddamn dog around a fire hydrant. He sees a glory hole, he goes right after it. It's crazy. Never seen anything like it. And I don't do karaoke, Lee. I'm going to stay away from that because I'm not going to have the cops called like they were last time when goddamn Chalice was up there doing the P. Diddy song. Wow, fucking glory hole. I won't have it in my life. But thank you, Lee. And by the way, Lee, I will get Mike in on that. And also who was asking for Chalice up here earlier. Crazy Saint. So 841 and 844. All right. Thank you so much, Lee. Good to see you, dude. Good to see you. Yes, hot, sexy man. Michael Parton says, wish we had dudes making out in the 90s. There was a lot of dudes making out in the 90s. Maybe it wasn't filmed. I don't know. I mean, what? No, wait a minute. Now, there was a movie that came out in 1999 with Kevin Kline called In and Out. And he made out with a dude in that movie because I think the movie was about he was like struggling with his gayness and he was trying to hide it from people. And then he realized he was gay. I think he made out with I think there was a lot of makeout. Did the Birdcage have to make out scene with Robin Williams or was that after the 90s? I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about. You're talking about you wanted the hot, sexy saliva spit swap situation going down like Selma Blair and Sarah Michelle Gellar. But, you know, I'm sure that's going to happen at some point. But thank you, Michael. Good stuff. And I think we're caught up. Yes. Okay, here we go. Greg Harris says, gross. Ooh, emoji, vomit. Nasty. Someone said Stigmata. I saw it. Stigmata is a good movie. Scary stuff. Jacob says, Hi, old friend. And yes, y'all can use the songs. I'd be honored. I think our last single, Warm PBR, would be dope for the beer chug. LMAO, love you guys. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely be able to use that if you guys are giving us permission. So thank you. Appreciate that. Action. Hi, Action. Hi, Action. Adrian, there's a movie. What's it? There's a movie called Dudes Rubbing Their Pee Hole Openings. What are you talking about, dude? Is that for real? No, it's not. That sounds like some dark web shit. Eric Hess of the Hessian Army says, "Potato chips." Chalice and Loomis, say it with me. I'm not saying that, you dirty goddamn sycophant. I'm going to say
penis, vagina.
Shut up, Gary Busey. Go back to your goddamn hole and get electroshock therapy. Pins. Fagna. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say the other things. I
thought you were having a stroke.
No, I'm not saying that dirty stuff. By the way, dude, look at this, dude. Look what Adrian, Michael commented earlier. I laughed. This is funny. Michael commented earlier, said he wished there was like dudes making out in the 90s. I guess like Selma Blair and Sarah Michelle Gellar. There's a movie called Dudes Rubbing Their Pee Hole.
I can't. That's the next commentary right there.
I would watch it. Oh, and then Jacob said we could use his stuff. He'd be honored. And he said he's got a song called Warm PBR, one of their singles that would be really good for the beer chugs.
Fuck yeah, Jacob. That's awesome, dude.
We'll
find a way.
I already answered it as Loomis, but 841, there was something for Chalice from Crazy Saint, and then Big Lee, the Machine, Sexy Bowers comes in at 844 with a Chalice thing too. So 841, 844. And I will return soon. I will come soon.
Okay. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Good night, Doc Cartman. Good night. Is mine on? Yeah. Adrian said, nope, that's not the one he was talking about. It was Crazy Saint who said, sup, Mokakos? That is a reference to a very dirty sex act. Actually, is it? I don't think it is. Louis Chalice rather see Constantine 2 with Keanu or Blade 4 with Wesley. Thank you for always showing love. If there was a way, why was that so country? Was it? I'm more of a Keanu guy myself. I like the cut of his jib. I like the way that he speaks. I'd like to have a Boilermaker or two with him. I like to go to a Cubs baseball game together. And I would say that, but then again, I don't really give a shit about Constantine. It's got a lot of myths about lung cancer. Apparently, you get it, and then you can just fight the devil, and they just make that go away. The only person to make that go away is me, because I'm a doctor. So I don't appreciate that film, and I'm going to go with Blade. Because vampires are a real medical field issue, and I just like the way his muscles glisten. I like to buy him a drink. You know, I've never been with a black man, and if I'm going to do it, it might as well be Wesley Snipes. You know what I'm saying? Blade 4 times in me. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So thanks, Crazy Saint. Appreciate that opportunity to make myself ashamed of myself, as we do awesomely. Lee the Machine, Bowers, you fuck. Sexiness, y'all remember that means snacka. A lick it boom boom down. Hey, sexiness, y'all are amazing and y'all rock. And hey, Loomis and Chalice, it's almost time for karaoke. And Chalice, remember you're a doctor, so investigate the glory hole. Love y'all. Keep on rocking. Listen, Chalice drinks old fashions now. It's a delicious drink that you can make when you're hanging out with your friend Lee the Machine Bowers, and you put some Maker's Mark in it, and you put a little dialate in it if you're in Kentucky, and you put an orange in it because it's good for your bowels. I'm a doctor, and some cherries, and it's a good icebreaker because you walk up to a guy and you say, "Hey, you ever had your cherry pop by a doctor?" And then you, as a doctor, you take a cherry out of your drink and you put it in their mouth real slow, and you just slowly rub their lip on the way down. And it lets them know that you're not into men. You're here to fuck their wives. It's a dominatrix move that I learned in Nam. No, it's not the war. I'm not old enough for that. Nam is a fast food establishment, short for num nums, which is like I like to do on your mother's vagina. Num num, num num num. Thanks, Lee. Appreciate that very much. Oh, I'm glad my wife had her headphones in for that one.
I'm sorry, what?
Num nums. Num nums. Num nums. I love you, Lee. You're the best, dude. We really appreciate that. And you as a person. Thanks, buddy. So people are still here. That's good to know. It's good to see. What is your all's drink of choice, by the way? Because I am really proud of these old fashions. They're beautiful. Look at them. They're pretty. What do you guys drink? What is your drink of choice? What does everyone here drink? I'm going to go back through the bottom of the chat and see. I'm going to find it. I will find him. Tell me. Tell me. And by the way, don't let him get confused. A glory hole is not what you perverts are thinking. A glory hole is when you go to a volcano and you do the Rocky steps. You run around like Rocky and you do the thing, but it's on top of a volcano. It's a glory hole. And then afterwards, when you go to the bar to have a drink with your buddies because you just climbed the volcano together, you stick your dick in a hole in the wall and see what's on the other side. And that is a true glory hole. That's how you do it. Robin drinks Heineken. I asked people what they drink, Jay, and we're getting. I'm judging some people. Ooh, dude, Big Joe drinks White Russians.
Oh
Ew.
My god, dude,
that's disgusting.
I question if you're the real Big Joe Grizzly if you're drinking that shit.
Michael Parton drinks daiquiris. Delicious. I used to drink them as a child. It's probably what's wrong with me today. Gin and I've never had gin and tonic. DJ Jezebel in Hell. I never had one. Maybe I should try one. Kyle just says beer.
That's what I do.
Beer.
Reminds
me of that Stone Cold thing. It's like he walks into like a cafe and they're like, "Oh, would you like a coffee?" He's like, "Honey, it's 10 in the morning. We don't drink that shit where I come from. I'll have a cold beer instead."
Yeah.
Beer. Stacey James, Tequila Sunrise. That's a lot of orange juice. It's good for you. A lot of vitamin C. Holly with the vodka cranberry or beer. Vodka cranberries are good. White Claws will get you fucked up. You got to be careful on those.
Vodka cranberry is like when I know I've been at the karaoke bar too long. If I'm drinking that shit, I was like I've already redlined it. If I'm doing vodka cranberries,
yeah, that'll get you. Dapper Dog, nice English cold pint of Larger Boy. That man is not from America, and you can tell. Crazy Saint, tequila shots, and Voodoo Ranger hard tea.
Well, that's why your profile pic, his profile pic looks like that after those shots.
Yeah, that sounds like getting on the subway to puke in your fucking guts out. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, that sounds like you've lost your marriage and your job all in the same day, and you found out your wife's a lesbian now. You're like, what the fuck? I'm gonna have some big time drinks.
Hey, shout out Glenn, 2 years alcohol free. Drink that fucking root beer, dude. That's not easy to do. It's not easy. My dude Colton, old fashions. Manhattans for chat. Manhattans are too sweet for me. I don't like the vermouth, but
he kind of looks like dude chat. He kind of looks like Dave Portnoy a little bit.
I could kind of see that, but like likable.
Yeah. Drinking.
Not that I don't like Dave Portnoy. He just has a more likable face.
He's got a great eye for talent. He was telling the truth. Jake Paul is the greatest promoter of our generation. We know this is true because he said it on Twitter and he reviews pizza.
That's true. It's a man who reviews pizza has the best take on fights. What is your number 8? And we will get back to the super chats. Please keep those coming. We do appreciate it very much.
The show. My number 8 is going to be Pie of the Americans. American Pie, that is. I had to put it in there. I remember as a kid watching it over and over again. And the thing is about American Pie is it really did capture the high school years of the late 90s. I was like 14 or 15 or something like that going into high school. So it was like, it really did just capture it perfectly. And like, obviously the movie, I can't stand that fucking Rutabarger bullshit. Rookie of the year. Rutabarger.
What the fuck is Rutabarger?
Remember they kept on mispronouncing his name?
Oh,
yeah. Fucker or whatever. That guy. I never liked him. It was a turd. And the Shitbrick was funny. I related to that dude. What was his name? Not Shitbrick. Finch. Dave Finch. I related to that dude so much, dude. Like he's like, why don't you just shit in the school? Because it sounds like Mike would say that to me. He's like, why don't you just shit in the school? It's like, have you seen the facilities in these schools? And he wasn't lying, dude. Like that, if just looking at those toilet seats would give you hepatitis B. So yeah, and then obviously what made it the best though was Stifler. Like Stifler is the best in that. Like it's not his best performance, but it was like awesome. But he's like how sweet it is to be loved by you. He goes, oh my God, you're gay. No, go ahead.
I was saying we just did a Patreon commentary for American Pie. We laughed our sick fucking asses off.
Dude, he was like, yeah, dude, I angle on these choir chicks, dude. I get in there, I do a little sing song, and then I bang her. And he's like, I don't know, dude. That sounds like a lot of work. Like, yeah, dude, it does. It does a lot of fucking work. But yeah, dude, I like it was like raunchy comedy. It was great, dude. I love the dad in that movie. That guy's a like legend. Everything about that movie's great, dude. Everything's about that. Like, and again, like it really does. It's one of the best high school movies that captured the spirit of the when perfectly. All the guys, all the friends, everybody in there, everybody hanging out. Blink-182 was in that. But
Blink-182 was that. when he finally runs to the room, starts taking his clothes off, Mark's like, "Get the mitts." Get the mix. Yeah, honestly, like it did not make my top 10, but it's in my honorable mentions, obviously, because it's an American classic, is what it is. It's one of those movies, dude. It's weird. It's strange that that's the movie that took off the way it did. It would never take off today.
Never.
It would be bigger than a motherfucker today if it wasn't canceled.
Actually, I don't know. You want to have someone returning the ball with you. It can be fun to practice alone. It could be fun, but what you want is a partner.
Maybe it was the pie scene was so shocking, and also the dad, but it's still a great movie. I still love it with all my.
We'll just tell your mother we ate it all.
My number 8 is gonna be The Mummy. Is my number 8 film. Brendan Fraser is an American institution. Okay, his best role, you could argue, but like I think it's the best role that shows off both his action abilities and his abilities as a front man, as a leading man, and also his comedy. But dude, just pure American goddamn bona fide ground beef entertainment. Is that what that movie is? It's fun. It's got terrible CGI in it at times. It's an adventure. It's a goddamn blasty blast. It's what movies are all the fuck about. I love it.
Do you know what's funny about Imhotep in that movie, the bad guy, the mummy, is that people confuse him with Billy Zane all the time. And he's like, yeah, I get Billy Zane all the time, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm Billy Zane. I just let it ride because he's like Billy Zane is more famous than me.
He looks like Billy Zane mixed with Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and the thing, well, it's so funny. Remember that shit turd that they re-released The Mummy with Tom Cruise? They were trying to kickstart this dark universe where they're going to have all the Universal monsters. I was like, you guys already had the perfect vehicle with The Mummy, with Brendan Fraser. Like, you already had it. You could have brought that Imhotep guy back, I don't know, and done some, updated CG to him. I think, yeah, you already had it ready to go. But, back in that day, too, I remember Brendan Fraser. It's Fraser. I don't know why people say Fraser. It's Fraser.
Did I say Fraser?
No, it's
Frosser.
It's from that. It's from that David Spade movie. I don't remember the movie where he was like Dickie Roberts, where he was like Frazier. But I always thought that Brendan Fraser could have been a great Indiana Jones when he was in that movie. I feel like if he had taken over the role as Indy, I think it would have been perfect.
Stacey James got a good point too. 90s Brendan Fraser would have been a great Superman as well.
He definitely would have. I could have seen that.
Another movie that's not going to make the list. It's on the honorable mentions with Brendan Fraser. Blast from the Past. Great fucking film.
I love that movie.
Love that movie.
So good too.
So funny. It's right up there at rewatchability. And Alicia Silverstone was great in that. Christopher Walken's great in that. Blast from the Past has the rewatchability of an American Pie. It's one movie that'd be on TBS. You turn it on, you're going to sit there for 2 hours. You're just going to watch it. You know what I mean?
You're going to do it. You're going to do it up.
Fucking do it. What's your number 7, you filthy slut?
My number 7 is gonna be Dogma. I like Dogma a lot. It was really fun, and I like Buddy Jesus. I think that's what's gonna lead us all back to the church, Buddy Jesus. It was such a dude. Again, Kevin Smith, one of his best, arguably his best movies is Clerks or Mallrats, and I know people always talk about that, and of course they do for good reason. But dude, Dogma is something special. It was something weirdly special that he was able to do, and I really did enjoy the idea behind Ben Affleck being this crazy like fallen angel that wants to get back into heaven using a loophole through the Catholic doctrine. And then when Matt Damon's angelic character starts realizing that he's gone insane, there's one scene in there he's like, "You sound like fucking Lucifer, man. I've heard a rant like this before. You sound like the Morning Star. Fuck that. Like, dude, I love that. I love the chemistry between Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and of course you get a big shit monster that they all fight. Of course and you get to watch Selma Hayek strip, which is good times for everybody.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and give my piece on it because it's also in my list as well. I won't say where, but no, dude, you're absolutely right. It's the perfect Kevin Smith mix between between like a Chasing Amy, where you have that awesome, almost Quentin Tarantino-ish, if Kevin Smith wrote it, sort of dialogue where they're saying shit like you were talking about to each other, and they're having these long-winded conversations with each other where they're waxing philosophical and they're smart as shit, and it's interesting conversation. But in the next breath, you have a poop joke, you have a fart monster coming out of the toilet, or you have Chris Rock on the train going, poop. Dude, I love it when they woke him up from his sleep. He goes, poop a trip. I don't know why.
I like it when he fell down from heaven, and Jay was like, "Kill it!" He goes, "That sounds familiar."
Jason Lee was great in that movie. Dude, that movie it's a perfect mix of like a lot of people didn't like it because of the religious themes in it, which I thought were really fascinating and interesting. George Carlin was great in that.
Well, Kevin Smith talked about that. He's like, it was pretty much like he was he's like, because I feel like I did them a favor. Like I didn't shit on the religion. He felt like he was. I watched some recent interview. He was talking about Dogma, and he's like, he got a bunch of letters from the Catholic Church or whatever, talking about how it was sacrilegious, it was heresy, like all this stuff. And he was like, I don't know why they were pissed off for. He's like, I was literally doing them a favor by like showing them in a better light, better than the priests were doing, the real priests at the time.
That's it. Again, that's smart. That's true. Having Alanis Morissette be Jesus is fucking crazy. The way they did that, but I mean, sometimes the movie was a little too dumb, but also it had amazing actors in it. The dude, Yippee-ki-yay motherfucker.
Snape.
Yeah. God damn it. What's
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. Amazing actor was in that movie. It was so good. But they also pointed out some of the hilarious double-sided talk out of the religions too, with stuff like when they're in that room and they're killing everybody. And Matt Damon's like, he's like, no, he's like, you're a wonderful woman. You live your life clean. He's like, but you didn't say God bless you when I was these.
Yeah. He's like, I like at the end too, and Ben Affleck's like killing a bunch of people, just dropping them, and Matt Damon's drunk as fuck. He's like, he's been working out like years of stress. Like this is just years of like held back aggression.
Fucking amazing movie, dude. And I love the leading lady in that too. I don't remember her name, but
I don't remember her name either.
Gets me going, Jim. My number 7 is going to be, we talked about this as well, it's going to be 8mm. A little higher than Jay's list, but we talked about it, dude. It's dark, it's twisted, it's unlike any other film. The Masters, a tradition unlike any other.
So dark and twisted. It's so dark and twisted. I hate my parents.
Prodigy. But yeah, dude, it's amazing performances, amazing movie. I think it's fair to call it a horror movie. Like it's more of a thriller, crime film, but the shit that goes on in this movie is twisted as fuck.
I'd say it's like psychological horror.
Yeah, and like where you have a Sinister, where he finds like the tapes. There was some of that in this too, because they're investigating a smut film. Was this smut film a fake murder or a real murder? And they have to go to the underbelly of the porn society before Pornhub and streaming and all this shit, and go to all these dark places to investigate this murder that happened on a porn. It's a great film, man. You got to watch.
Like I feel like 8mm, if you actually crack back the layers of Hollywood, that's what you would see. Like you would just see this whole molehill of cockroaches and ants and maggots coming out of it,
as well as Congress. This is very true on both sides. On both sides. Number 6, Slut.
Well, we've talked about this one as well. It's higher on my list as well. Stir of Echoes. Echoes of Stirs. Stir that echo up, bitch, and mix my brain up so I could see ghostly booger monsters.
My bitch.
Yeah, dude. We've talked at pretty good length about it. And again, it's one of those movies like
Snuff. On the day, not Smut. You're right.
Yeah, Snuff. Depending on the day, it could be better than The Sixth Sense, and I think in a lot of ways it is, and then in a lot of ways it's not. But I love that movie. It's one of Kevin Bacon's unheralded performance. Next to Death Sentence, I feel like Kevin Bacon never gets like credit for either one of these movies, like how good he was in both movies. I mean, of course he was great in Footloose. Yeah, he looked great. He could dance too. And then he was great in obviously Tremors. But the Stir of Echoes, like that was the first time I'd seen that movie with Kevin Bacon, other than The Woodsman, where he was outside of his comfort zone, where he was doing not maybe outside of his comfort zone, but outside of movies that I usually would never think that he'd be in. And it was great, dude. It was such an amazing cast. It was an amazing story, and it was really well done.
Fucking A, Cotton. Effing
yes,
A.
Yes.
My number 6 is going to be, again, we're running around the same streets here. It's going to be Dogma. We're best friends. We're going to hug. We're going to hug.
This is just like us passing each other in the neighborhood. It's like, hey, man, what's up? Leave our windows down.
Dude, could you imagine if we never met each other? We're like, hey, man, what's your top 10 of 1999? And then we looked at them together and be like, yes, dude, did we just become best friends? Karate in the garage.
Yep.
That's what would happen. Yeah, it's Dogma. We already talked about it. What's your number 5?
My number 5
is going to be, and again, this is going to be a lot higher on the list, but I have to put it in there. I love this movie a lot. The Hill of the House That Was Haunted. House on Haunted Hill is going to be number 5. I thought it was an incredible movie, incredible performance. Now, you give me my goddamn check because you have it, and I want it. It was the only time I've ever found Chris Kattan funny outside of Night of the Roxbury. Let's be honest. But I do actually, it scared me, dude. The herky jerky, the doctor, I can't remember his name in the movie, but yeah, dude, the effects on it, I mean, they weren't like groundbreaking or anything like that, but they were still scary enough when he was walking in the halls. He's like, it looked like my ex-wife when she ran out of fucking Franzia. But it was, and in the beginning, dude, what a beginning that movie was. Like, you know, the old horror reel, and the inmates break out and they stab that dude with the fucking pencil like John Wick. I don't know. I loved everything about that movie. Like and I remember that chick Sonya Blade when she goes down to the basement and they the booger monsters are like operating in the table, and then they turn around and they go blah, 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 and then they come after her and then you can see her hand and they're like going there and you hear them like even the sound effects are like they're making that. I was like, why do you make that sound? It's so weird. I love that fucking movie, dude. And also, I love the guy that played Stephen Price. I think he was so good, dude. The guy that played Stephen Price, I loved it. I know it was an honor, you know, to Vincent Price, but like, you know, a nod to him. But dude, God, I loved it. And Jesus Christo, can we talk about the hotness of Jean Grey? Can we talk about the hotness of Jean Grey?
Famke.
Oh, Famke. What do you do? Famke? So good. Oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree with you. It's a fucking amazing horror movie. It's weird, dude, because one time I bought a joint from a guy who used to pick on me in middle school, and that was probably a stupid choice, but I did. And you remember we were hanging out with Angela and Christy. You remember those dark days?
Oh, yeah.
We had some great times. It's not all dark days. But hang on. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that one of my little ones weren't scooting a boot before I told this story. Bought a joint off, dude, smoked it, and I smoked like half of it, and I'm sitting at Angela's house or whatever, and started looking at the ceiling, and stuff started melting. I mean, got real scary, and I thought, and this never happened to me before, but it was laced. It was like PCP or something.
Oh yeah.
Get up and go to the bathroom, try to snap myself out of it, and I'm splashing water in my face. And dude, when I looked at myself in the mirror, exactly from House on Haunted Hill, the thing you were talking about, when their faces were going,
oh yeah, dude,
like, dude, my face was doing that back to me, and it made me puke so hard. Like I puked all over. Like immediately, I was like, no. If
I had experienced that, I promise you, like it was like if I got to experience what you experienced, like through a MetaQuest like VR simulation, there would be no YouTube channel because I would have fucking died. My heart would have been shit out through my anus hole. I would have literally shit my heart out. I would have died.
It was scary
because I do that to me at the herky jerky ghost booger monster stuff is scary as hell, and they did it so incredibly well in House on Haunted Hill. Dr. Vatican, by the way, was the guy's name. But yeah, it was. God damn, dude, that movie did freak me out for a long time. But it was so good, I kept going back to watch it.
I looked over and Denzel Washington was sitting on the toilet next to me. He was going, "Damn, Jake, I didn't know you liked to get wet."
You should have looked at yourself in the mirror. It's like, I'm Stephen fucking Price.
Well, and the opening to that was badass too. When they go up in the elevator and you think they're all gonna die, and it was just his like gimmick or whatever.
Oh, dude,
it's such a good movie.
One of the coolest scenes too is when the guest list was being erased and then printed out a new guest list, and the Marilyn Manson "Sweet Dreams" comes on. Dude, that was so cool, dude. I don't know, I love that shit.
That's an underrated ass movie, man. It is. I'm glad it's on your list. It didn't make mine, but I was glad it's on yours because it's in my honorable mentions. My number 5 is gonna be Any Given Motherfucking Sunday.
I knew yours was going I knew it.
Yeah, dude. Listen, man, I adore this movie. Like, I love it so much. I could watch it 10 times a year and still get away with it. It's so fucking good. Not only do you have Al Pacino's performances is one of his best performances, and it's so underrated, man. He's this broken down coach of this team, and there's a speech at the end where he's like, "Life is about inches," and it's so good, dude. It gets you so pumped up. But also, it's an Oliver Stone movie. But also throughout, man, the stuff that they show, the behind the scenes of these guys partying at their Diddy parties and whatever when they're doing, is so crazy. But you've also got My Name is Willie Beeman, and all the ladies they're creaming. Like, he had his own rap song, all this stuff. You got the up and coming quarterback and Jamie Foxx, and he's replacing Dennis Quaid, who's basically literally Brett Favre in that. And the football story going on inside of that, plus you have this dramatic, crazy Al Pacino performance, dude. That movie's so fucking good, man. If you like football and you haven't watched that movie, you don't know what you're missing. You don't know.
I was gonna have it on my list too, but I can't remember much about it. If for some reason it blurs together. Like I love that. Like, I don't know why it blurs together with like The Program, and that was like a way earlier movie than this.
It's dark.
Yeah,
it's dark in the same way, man. If you guys have not seen that, I implore you. It's dark, like another movie that they wouldn't dare make today. They just would not.
Black Hole.
You would
Dark.
not touch it.
Black Hole Sun.
Won't you come
So
in the rain?
we might as well get on to number 4 because we've talked about it a little bit. So it's The Sixth Sense. That was the one I told you earlier. I was having trouble with Stir of Echoes and The Sixth Sense being on there. I give it to The Sixth Sense just because it was at the time M. Night like knocked it out of the park as far as a twist ending. Like, no one saw that coming, and you're a liar if you say that you guessed it earlier. You did not. You're lying. Don't you go stick your Jack and Coke and quit lying. Your pants are gonna.
This is old fashioned, all right. And I did guess.
I don't want to hear it, but no, it was so good, dude, and it was sad too. I actually remember tearing up at the end of that movie. Which I did not expect to happen at all.
Gay.
I'm a straight male that my eyes sweat. They don't cry. But no, yeah, it actually made me tear up at the end of that movie. And then Haley Joel Osment, one of the best child actors, period. Like, period. Like, so good. And again, it's a double-edged sword for M. Night, dude, because that's what got M. Night's name out there, and everyone knows his name now. But it's a double-edged because after that movie, everybody was expecting this masterful Alfred Hitchcock type of twist ending forever will haunt his career. But as far as a movie goes, dude, so because I mean, the idea that a ghost will only see what they want to see makes so much fucking sense. And the idea, like, whether or not you believe in the paranormal or ghosts or not, but that would make sense if you died and you would only see the world in your own, like, you wouldn't understand it. I don't know, dude. It's so fucking cool, dude.
I've never understood the love for that movie, man. I'm wrong. I'm fucking wrong. All right. But I watched it the first time and I went, oh, he's dead. Like, it didn't get me. And then I went back and I watched it again. I was like, I had to miss something. And I was like, no, good, great. I always think it's great performances and it is a good twist. I just didn't think it was scary. And I thought it was just like, it felt like
the only part I got scared at was when the kid, well, with the abused mom in the kitchen, and she's like, what are you doing? Like, and that shit scared me. And then the one boy's like, let me show you my dad's gun. And he walks down the hallway with the back of his head's blown out. I'm like, that guy does not know about gun safety. I guarantee you. But yeah, I thought it was incredible. I never really got scared, but I think as far as a thriller goes, it was really good.
Yeah, Mr. Beer said Sixth Sense was groundbreaking for another genre of horror. I think it was just the M. Night Shyamalan genre, right? I mean, it was groundbreaking. M. Night Shyamalan basically is his own genre. Like, his movies all feel different than anything else.
Now,
so I think that's fair. Yeah, great film though. I agree with Jordan though. Signs is. What do you think, Jay? Signs or Sixth Sense? Which one would you take? I take Signs any day of the week.
Well, I take the Sixth Sense, but that's where you're all about that, alien probe of your butthole and vagina, and I'm all about that, like, ghost hunting shit. So
I roll over when they probe me and I go, hit me again, Ike, and put some steak on it.
Listen, but it's like Signs is, I guess maybe I feel this way. I love Signs. Signs is a great movie and I do enjoy it a lot, but it's maybe I'm the same way on Signs as you are on the Sixth Sense. I appreciate it for it being a good movie, but there was also a lot of weak moments in that movie too.
Vamonos, children. Vamonos.
Move, children.
My number 4 is going to be, this is going to seem high to some people, dude, but listen, Big Daddy is a movie that I don't think we appreciated when it came out. Like, it came out, and I think maybe we all thought, we were all thinking Billy Madison's hilarious, fucking Happy Gilmore, uproarious, Dick Johnson. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Funny. It was really great shit. But, like, Big Daddy came out, and it was a little mellow for an Adam Sandler film. So I don't think we gave it the appreciation in the 90s it deserved. But going back and rewatching that, like, every time it's on TV, it's another movie. You rewatch, and it's so fucking quotable, dude. Like, like, and it's. I just think that it's a really underrated fucking comedy, dude.
You
like,
can't.
Yeah, hip hop anonymous. It's like, come back later, I'll Indian wrestle you.
That little boy was like, I win. He's like, how come you win? Because I win. It's like, you little bastard. No, you don't. I love that. Yeah, and he's like, hey, what's your name? He'll write it on the wall for you. Mind your business. Dude, I said that the other day, not that part, but it was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Me and April went up to Cracker Barrel, and I hadn't been up for breakfast in like 1,000 years, and I felt like goddamn Big Daddy, dude, because I was like, I could go for some breakfast. I haven't been up for breakfast in like 20 years. Because they're that little, that dude. It's such a great movie. It really is a good movie.
Steve
And
Buscemi's great in that as well. The goddamn
Hooters.
Yeah, I love the one guy. He's like, no, you don't want to be like that guy. He's like, hey, it's okay, buddy. I know you're not mad at me. It's your dad you're mad at. It's like, it's true. I hate my father. Like, dude, that movie is fucking hilarious from the opening scene to the last scene. There's a million quotable parts, and it's touching as hell. It's a really touching story. Like, honestly, like it'll tear you up a couple times. Just man, it's a great movie. It's a great film.
It's amazing. Yeah, and it was. And I think it was also one of those movies that showed Adam Sandler had range, other than just like slapstick stupid comedy.
Oh yeah, dude. When his dad comes out and he's like, I figured if I could convince my dad, who doesn't believe in me worse than anybody else, that I could have a kid, then I could convince you. And you're like, it's fun. And then Steve Buscemi's like, they're all calling their dad and shit. It's a really good movie.
You'll be thinking about me when he's laying his old wrinkly body all over you, like wrinkly balls hanging in your face. Fucking
awesome, dude. Great shit. Yep. Give me a number 3.
I'm going to give you some 3s. I'm going to give you a 3. It's we've discussed it at length before, so we really don't get into a lot of detail about it. And I think everybody's going to know why it's 3. But the Blair Witch Project is number 3 for a variety of reasons. I mean, it was the first of its kind. I know that there was I remember this argument that came out about it. And they're like, actually, Cannibal Holocaust was the original found footage. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you goddamn weirdo. I'm going to call PETA on you and the FBI, weirdo.
And P. Diddy.
No, but no, I regardless of Cannibal Holocaust, as far as I'm concerned, Blair Witch Project was the first of its kind and did what it did, and it was amazing marketing, maybe the best marketing period for a horror movie it's ever been done.
Yes.
Like and you know what? That was when the internet was still young and fresh, so you didn't really know if it was fake or not, and they did such a masterful job of doing that, like that movie in the marketing and the way that they did it, and the way the run and gun style of filming they did was like outlaw shit back, like cowboy stuff, and they were like it was like experimental stuff. They would like give notes to each actor the night before, and they'd wake up and they'd have to go off of that, and it was all ad-lib shit. I mean, a lot of it was ad-lib and some of it was in there, but dude, amazing performances. And I'm glad that they're now getting some I think they might be getting some royalties from I don't remember what studio it was, but they kind of fucked about of the money. From what I understand, the one guy the tall blonde dude, I can't remember his name. He said that they signed over their rights to the film for royalties for like $300,000, and that movie grossed like a huge amount of money. And then I think they've worked out something with it now, but.
And not just that, but Blumhouse is allegedly about to make another new one, and they're just like, can we just have something to do with it? Like, we made the movie, like we created that out of fucking nothing. Great Foo Fighters song, by the way, something from nothing. But like, like they were like, can we have something to do with it? And Blumhouse hasn't said shit. And if Blumhouse doesn't go out and at least reach out and give them some involvement with it, that's going to be a dick move, because they really did get screwed over in that.
Yeah, well, and just again, the directors, like, it's so I don't remember what the actual budget was for the movie. Maybe it was like $30,000 or $35,000. It was so, like, I like that story. I like the idea that these independent filmmakers, they had a good idea for a story. They went out, and that was back in the day in '99, dude. It was hard. Like, you had to like rent that equipment. They had to go in debt for it to fucking get that shit, and then
like Clerks,
just do it. Well, yeah, or like Sam Raimi did with the Evil Dead, like going out with his buddies and just doing. I don't know. I love that shit. I love the idea behind it. And again, I think what the movie itself is probably not that. It's not great. I mean, when you get older, you watch. It's not as amazing as it was when you first watched it. But the thing about it, again, that sets it apart from everything else for me and puts it at 3, is the fact that it was marketed like. I mean, you couldn't have a better promoter except if your name was Jake Paul, obviously, according to Dave Portnoy. But no, I mean, it was so good, dude. And like, I remember Cody and Mike waking me up in the middle of the night, coming, it's like, dude, it's real. And I was like, what are you talking about? They had gone to the website on the Blair Witch on AOL dial-up and was like,
it was just me alone, dude. It was me by myself. I woke you both up.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And they left it's real, dude.
No, and I'll tell you this. So it did make my top 10. Because I was looking at it from pure like movie standpoint, like, watchability now or whatever. But it easily could have in a different world. Like, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. It's the greatest marketed film of all time. One of my greatest movie experiences of all time, man.
It was great.
That was the best. The lead up to that was the fucking best. Going to the theater for the first time was the best.
I went with you. It was you and Emily, and we went to the Kentucky Theater.
Lindsay Ingram.
Or Lindsay. Lindsay. Yeah.
I was friend zoned for like 4 years. It was fine. But like we went and her mom took us. We tried to go to Movies Night in Winchester, watch it, all pumped for it. Sold out. Like walked up to buy our tickets before the internet because we're old as fuck. Sold out. Sorry. You lost a scholarship. You can't go. We weren't allowed to go. So they took us to Kentucky Theater in downtown Lexington. Never been there before. This is an old Victorian theater, creepy as fuck. And we're waiting in line. And this woman comes running out of the theater from the showing that let out before, screaming. And she's like, oh my God, you don't know, don't go, don't. And like between the lead up and that, I thought we were going in to watch the Devil's fucking play. Like I thought we were going to watch one of the most fucked up things we've ever seen in our lives. And then sat there and was like, oh my God, that was it. But still, dude, the lead up again, I got dropped off at my house. My parents weren't home. I just flipped on the TV one day and to the sci-fi special where they were promoting the movie, and they just showed little bits of the movie, like them running and shit, and they presented it as though it was real. And this is like at the dawn of the internet, like, right? So like there was no like, let me Google it real quick. I believed it. I was like, oh my God, they actually found these tapes. So scared to death of this movie. Jay and me and Cody used to go out in the woods behind their house, and Jay and I crafted we made a little Blair Witch stick figure thing and hung it in the woods.
Yeah, we did.
And then we took Cody out there, and like we let him walk in front of us, and he found it himself, and we're like, oh my God, dude, what is that? So we all took off running. And then we heard like some dude's tractor, so it freaked us out even more. And we're a bunch of kids running through the woods for our lives. And me and Jay are laughing at the time because we knew, but Cody was ahead of us. I think Cody falls down. He trips and he falls down in the woods. And it's funny because like I know he was actually scared, but he still had the wherewithal. When he fell down, he stopped and he did the Forrest Gump thing on his knees. He goes, "Dear God, make me good so I can."
Yeah, he did. And you know what's funny about his ass? He's like, he'll try to say, he's like, "Dude, I knew I was just joking with you all. I knew it was fake." And I'm like, "No, you didn't, dude. You were fucking nearly in tears, praying to God to make you a bird so you could fly far. You were lying. If you're like, dude, it's like one of those. I guess he's embarrassed about it. You never really talk about it. He's like, dude, I was joking." I'm like, yeah, all right. But yeah, dude. You know what? Maybe that's why I have it so high on my list. Like a lot of it was a good experience. It was a good memory. I mean, it really that summer,
amazing memories.
It was like it penetrated all aspects of like everybody was talking about that movie. It was like it probably was close. It maybe was the biggest horror movie of that. It absolutely was. I think it was bigger than The Sixth Sense.
No, it's fucking huge, dude. And the funny thing is, that night that we were talking about, me, Cody, and Jay used to always hang out in their basement. And like they went to bed one night, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking dick around on the dial-up internet in their basement. And I'm sitting there, and you guys got to understand like how creepy this actually was, because this isn't just like high speed. Let me pull it up. I went to the Blair Witch website all on my own. I just thought to look up Blair Witch on the internet, and the website comes up, and it's all grainy and shit, and it's like, and then all of a sudden that fucking stick thing pops up. It's like. And it's got all the Burkittsville stuff, all this information, all these little videos. Scared the living dick off me. And I literally ran upstairs and woke them up. And I was like, please come downstairs. You guys got to see this shit. It's fucking real. And like,
yeah, I felt like Mike was like, we were all like detectives, and Mike had stayed up late to find out what was really going on. And that old, like how the screens had to load forever, like on the doll, it was like, it would just take forever. And that was coming out. I was like, I don't know. I was like, it ain't real. But I was scared as fuck too. And I was like, I'm just saying that to pretend to be tough, but I'm not. But yeah, it was scary. It was amazing. Amazing job.
You missed out if you weren't there for that time. I'll give my number 3. We'll jump to super chats before we give the 2 and the number 1. My number 3 is going to be The Matrix. Great. The year is so good when The Matrix is your number 3. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys might go back and you might, and again, I'm assuming like everyone's age or whatever, but like at the time this came out, not only was it a blockbuster or whatever, it was a huge fucking deal. I remember getting the VHS with that shiny ass cover on it. That was so cool. And just watching those special effects, dude, the idea that he was like this fucking like goth dude, like hanging out in his basement, the dungeon, and like becoming like the White Rabbit and all that shit. Such a cool, like just weird, strange movie. There was no movie like The Matrix. And it also just happened to be a huge budget fucking goddamn tent pole of a movie. So you had the weird mix of this like dungeon-esque, almost gothic sort of movie. You know, they're all wearing it was pre-Columbine, obviously, with the leather suits and the shootout scenes and stuff. But it also had an edge of cool to it. So I don't know if a movie has come out since that has had the coolness and the tent poleness at the same time, and the interesting questions about our life living in a
simulation.
Simulation and all that. I saw a black cat. like all that shit. Like The Matrix is a special movie. They fucked up with the sequels. I feel like I feel like
awful.
Even if you like the sequels, like, and they're watchable, sure, they really fucked up the vibe, dude. Like, they fucked up the aura of what the Matrix was. They've never ever been able to recapture that at all. And you know, that's fair. It's a hard thing.
You ever had that dream, or you ever had that feeling where you think you're dreaming but you're awake? Yeah, it's called mescaline. What the fuck? I was like, what does that even mean, dude? I don't even know what that means. Who talks like that, you fucking weirdo hacker? But yeah, it was, and dude, obviously it's Lawrence Fishburne was amazing in that as Morpheus, dude. Amazing. And the fight sequences, the music was amazing. The sound,
it had it all.
The soundtrack, the very end, like, because we are coming, whatever he says on the phone, then he flies away, and then you hear that, come on, and then that fucking rock song. I was like, I didn't know. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck who's singing that shit. But that's awesome.
Good dude, the mystery of it when he's taking phone calls in the office and he's having to hide and shit like that. And then what's the guy's name? He was a
Red Skull. I can't remember his name. And he was also in fucking Lord of the Rings, and we're like diminishing him.
Yeah, he was so fucking good. Hugo Weaving. He was so. Dude, we used to laugh about that shit. It's like, how about I give you the finger and you give me my phone call? It's like, and you take out your landlady's garbage. Like, we used to quote that shit all the time.
As you can see, we've had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Anderson. You pay your taxes, you go to work, and you help your landlady take out her garbage. But there is another life lived in computers where you go by the hacker. No, he goes where you go by the hacker alias Neo and are guilty of virtually every computer crime we have a law for. One of these lives has a future, and one of them does not. I love that, dude. It's like I've seen that movie so many times. I could quote it nonstop.
But like, if you look at, like, this is right before Y2K, right? Like right before all this shit. It was the dawn of computer, like not just computers and IBM and shit, but like of the masses having the internet. Like we talked about earlier, everybody had AOL. Everybody was there. A lot of people's first time on the internet. It was a really exciting time. And for a movie to take that and take the scariest aspect possible of that and do some cool shit like that, man, you guys, I think it's hard to understand for people who weren't alive then, because it was all such a mystery, and there's no mysteries anymore. Thanks probably to Google for the most part, but the Matrix.
Thanks, Obama. Thanks, Obama.
Fucking Biden. By the way, did you see this is non-political? Obviously, it's just funny as shit. I mean, did you see the rainforest thing?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god, dude, he did like a press conference in the rainforest, and then when it was over, he's like, all right, and he turned around, and there's a clear path. There's a clear fucking path that he was supposed to walk down, and the motherfucker just walked into the rainforest. I feel bad laughing. It's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Anyway, dude, well, when you leave Joe Biden alone, dude, he looks like an unplugged Roomba that's running down on batteries, like just hitting walls and shit, and doesn't know where he's going. And he's like, "Hey, sir, what do you think about the rainforest? Is it your first time in the rainforest?" He goes, "I love Montana. Montana is something else." But no, yeah, it is watch it, but you know, it's weird. I think the Matrix. I don't know if this is true or not, but I swear to God, the Matrix is the one that spawned the conspiracy theory that's everywhere now about whether or not we live in a simulation. I think it did. I mean, I'm pretty sure it did. And the Wachowski sisters or brothers or whatever you want to call them, I don't know, but they did a phenomenal job with the movie as well. I mean, the Reloaded was all right, and then the third one, I can't remember, fucking sucked. I hated that one.
I've tried probably 10 times to go back and watch those sequels and not only understand, but get into it. And you can understand it, but you can't really ever get into it. And especially the fourth one, that was
the third one should have been. I mean, it had a big action sequences and set pieces and everything, but I don't know what it was about it. It just it lost that cool underground feeling that the first one had. It became more like what you would consider the Avengers type of movie now by the third.
Yeah. They fucked up to me by going into the other layers and doing like the war and shit and the nanobots and all that shit. Like, dude, It was cool when it was here on Earth and we're figuring out what this means to us on Earth. When they went off to the other places, I was like, I really don't give a fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it felt like for me. But okay, we'll take a break from this for a moment. Enjoy your pee time.
I'll be back.
Enjoy. I fucking don't know where we left off on the super chat. So holy dick sauce. Dick sauce. I'm gonna go backwards. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go fucking backwards. It's gonna be okay. Don't be scared. Crazy Saint said, how do Loomis and Slenderman feel about each other? Well, we can't fucking answer that right now. Now can we? We will get back to that. I promise we will. I got Linkin Park's new album stuck in my head. It's so fucking good. It's so good. I had no idea it was going to be as heavy as it got. Stone Cold Britain. Oh, hell yeah. Said, he's obviously way better at it. Hope everyone's having a great night. Just want to say thanks again for having me Saturday. Also, thanks to everyone for the nice words. Love y'all. Brennan, we met him at the meetup, and I shit you guys not, he had everybody in the fucking entire party surrounding him going, what? As he did Stone Cold. It was one of the best moments ever. True fucking great party moment, man. And such a kind, sweet fucking dude. So glad to have met you and become friends with you, and did a great job on the show. We look forward to having you back on, man. Fucking awesome dude. I hope you guys enjoyed him on Saturday. I know we did, sexually and otherwise. But let's see here. Thank you, buddy. We really appreciate that. I skipped one. I didn't mean to. It's the darkness of the night. Some Wayniak, we see Baba. Phil screams. I was surprised to see Jay's ex in Terrifier 3 as Art's partner / dude. Honestly, there's some similarity that you don't even know. Speaking of tough watches, have you guys ever seen the movie The Sadness? Is that the movie? I think I have. I think it's a Korean horror film involving zombies, where at one point someone kills a zombie, or a zombie kills a person by sticking their dick in their eye hole and like literally skull fucking him to death. It was one of the most fucked up things I've ever seen. So yeah, I've seen that movie. I think it's on Shudder. Wish I didn't have to be reminded about it. I'll never eat cooked sausages again, or stick them in my eye, which was one of my favorite 4th of July festivities. Gary B, fuck the year 96 was just me censoring my language. What I wrote was true. Oh, F the, I see what you're saying. I see what you mean, Gary. Don't worry. Child Corn says pick 2. Lennox Lewis versus Tyson Fury. Andre Ward versus Ronald Jones. What the fuck? Why am I know who you're talking about. My brain's just dead. Lennox Lewis, Tyson Fury is what I'm going to go with there. That's a really good fight. Roy Jones Jr. Dumb shit. Dude, my favorite fight I ever watched was Roy Jones Jr. versus Joe Calzaghe back in the day, because nobody thought Calzaghe had a chance, and he went in there and was not just winning. He was fucking with Roy Jones, and it was so impressive. The fight between him and Bernard Hopkins was great too. Joe Calzaghe is one of my favorite boxers of all time, but those were great fights as well. Great choices. Eric Hess, potato chips. Chalice and Loomis, say it with me. Penis, 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 vagina, vagina. We read that one. I'm a stupid bitch.
Oh, penis, Ricky Hatton.
So don't you know Ricky Hatton?
Hey, listen to this joke. I forgot. I don't know if I said this last time or not, but dude, it was. I was just thinking it was a Titanic related joke. I know that Titanic was in the 90s, but there was so the Titanic's going down. I don't think I said that. I don't think I told this joke. Maybe I did, but I can't remember.
Down, you know what
I mean? So the Titanic's going down, and then the waiter's like, we got to get to the lifeboats. And then the teacher's like, what about the kids? And the lawyer's like, fuck them kids. And then the priest says, you think we got time?
Because Catholics like to touch kids.
No,
not all of them. Just the ones in power. No, that's not what I meant. What? Who said that? Who the fuck said that? I don't know.
Nasty.
There was a super chat that I needed you for, and I can't find it now. Crazy Saint said, how do Lewis and Slenderman feel about each other?
He's an asshole idiot. Well, me think you're a lovely person, Dr. Loomis, even though you need to get some cough drops for that itchy throat. That's what you need to do. That's it. I don't know. I ain't trying to do goddamn Eddie Murphy up here, the Nutty Professor.
It's true. It's true. We do eat cats.
Adrian Ybarra just said canceled.
I know. Cool, because I made a joke about the Catholics.
Oh yeah. Well,
if you look at the documents, I don't know what I'm saying. Hey, this is really funny, by the way. I'm gonna show it to you really quick. Before we this is crazy because it reminds me of hang on, let me find it real quick.
Ricky Hatton.
Dude, this is you're gonna love this. And the reason why is because inside the NBA, like you like it as much as I do, with Charles Barkley and
oh yeah,
Shaq.
that's funny as shit.
So they're going to ESPN. They kept the show alive. It's going to go to ESPN, but Barstool took one of their funniest moments and posted it, and it's Charles Barkley talking about Galveston, Texas. And dude, the reason this is so fucking funny to me is it reminds me of Big Dad. You remember when he used to talk about Wendy's chili?
No, yeah.
He'd be like, they scope that shit up.
No, he's like, all they do is they take a hamburger meat off the floor and put it in a goddamn bowl and put some sauce on it. It's like that goddamn Wendy's chili, but he eat it nonstop too. I was like, oh yeah, but I thought you hated it. He's like, honey, let me enjoy something.
This is what this made me think of, and I had to show it to you. It's Charles Barkley talking about Galveston, Texas, but it just reminds me of him. Like, so watch this shit.
Dude, hold on. Shaq looked like depressed. He looked like he found out that D. Pitty was like in trouble for real. He's like, that's my favorite rapper though.
No, you're thinking of LeBron.
Oh yeah, LeBron.
Going Chuck Galveston, that dirty ass water. We're not even gonna send them to Cancun. We're gonna send them to Galveston with that dirty ass water be washing up on the shore. You people think they're in the beach. Y'all okay? We y'all gonna send y'all to Cancun. Y'all drive y'all quit. Drive your ass down to Galveston. Come on, man.
So they're not taking a little.
Come on, they don't even try, man. No, we're not getting them no plane ticket to the beach. We send their ass to Galveston, Texas, right where that dirty water washed up on the beach. They can't even get in the water. Come on, man.
Oklahoma City, 185 and down 3.
No, dude, no, that's dead on Big Dad. That's dead on Big Dad. He talked about going to Washington, D.C. He's like, honey, they'll rob you when you get off the goddamn airplane. They'll rob you right in the terminal. You got to get to your car and keep on going. And I was like, what happened? He's like, well, me and Doug, which is his business partner back then. He was like, me and Doug were sitting in our car at a red light. We rolled up on a red light. A bunch of people came out, started circling the car. And I said, Doug, when that light turns green, you floor this motherfucker. And he hated Washington, D.C., dude, because he used to travel around a lot for business. But yeah, it's exactly like Big Daddy. Exactly how you talk.
That dirty ass water.
Dude, one of the funniest stories of Big Dad is that when we were he loved chili, but he always talked shit on all the fast food chili. No matter what it was, he talked shit on it, but he'd eat it. It was the weirdest thing. And I was like, why are you eating these? He's like, let me enjoy myself, honey. I don't bother you. No, you don't bother me. But we went to Taco Tico, or it was called Tacos 2, and I knew the chili was probably garbage. And he was like, hey, goes, how that chili? I was like, well, Dad, it's a Mexican restaurant. They don't specialize in fucking chili, so I don't know how well it's gonna go for you. He's like, oh, I'll give you a cup of that chili. And we got home, and he opened up the chili, and these motherfuckers it looked like it was like they had just taken store-bought like canned chili and put it in a fucking like a plastic cup, and then they dunked a whole cube of cheese unmelted in the middle of it. And he opened it up. He's like, those dirty bastards. And I was like, what are you? He's like, he goes, I'll tell you what, I'll never eat there again. And then he started eating it. I was like, what? He's like, he goes, honey, put this in the microwave and warm it up for me.
That's probably how it was. So Mama was giving him shit about going to the boat too.
Dude, he didn't know how to cook.
Don't you worry about it.
Dude, when one of Cody's kids were being born, I was at the hospital with Mom, and he called Mom, and because Dad didn't know how to cook, because Mom had cooked for him his entire life, and he was like, he goes, Mom, because he called, you know how older people, they used to call like each other. He goes, Mother. He's like, how do you make this goddamn spaghetti? And she's like, Larry, I don't like that talk. And he's like, well, I put some ketchup on the noodles because I didn't know how to make sauce. He put fucking ketchup on it. And she said, no, Larry, that's not how you make it. He's like, well, I don't know. Get on home and fix me some supper. Yeah, you'd have to know him to make it funny, but it's basically Charles Barkley. That's how Big Dad was.
Yeah, dude, that shit, that's exactly where my brain went when I saw that shit. It made me laugh. All right, so where the fuck? Okay, here it comes. What is your number 2 movie of 1999?
Number 2 is going to be some John Coffey with a side of cream in the Green Mile. All right, coffee, just like the drink, just spelled differently is all. Please, boss, don't put that on me. I'm scared of the dark. One of the best adaptations of a Stephen King novel. Someone asked that earlier, and I said Shawshank, but this one is up there as well. Incredible movie. I can't remember the guy's name that played John Coffey. I used to know it too because he played Kingpin in one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. That would be Ben Affleck's Daredevil. I'm an outlaw. Quick on the draw. What the fuck? Anyway, that guy was so charismatic, so amazing on. Yeah, I can't remember his name. So good. Tom Hanks was great in that, and that little dirtball fuckface. The one that was like, I didn't know the sponge was supposed to be wet. I was like, you little soy boy fucking bitch hole. You know what I'm talking about? The one that fucking got that one dude.
Was it William Sadler? Wasn't he in that?
Yeah, William Sadler was in it as well. He was, I think he was one of the. No, that was Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know anybody that can watch that movie and not cry. I mean, it's a long ass movie, but it sets you like you will like clean out your sinuses with the amount of crying.
Michael Clark Duncan. Thank you, Mr.
Michael Clark Duncan. Yes, Michael Clark Duncan. Unfortunately passed away. He was a great actor as well. But yeah, dude, everything like, and it was see that during that time is when I had been watching these Stephen King adaptations, and I was shocked too. I was like, he was making like non-horror movies or non-horror books. It was actually pretty cool. I didn't know he did that, but it was so good, dude. I don't know what else you can say about that movie. It's a long movie. It's a big investment, huge investment, but it's worth it in the end. The payoff is great.
Huge. I never seen it.
What?
I never watched it. I still haven't watched. I watched like 20 minutes of it, and I was like, "This just sucks." I was like,
"Well, it's not boring. It just you gotta get invested in it. Like it takes a little while to get going, but it really is a really good movie."
I think there's something about a movie knowing that it's long and it's going to make you cry. Reminds me of when my stepdad used to come over.
I was going to say it reminds me of my first marriage. When it's a long, torn out relationship where you know you're going to cry and you should have left a long time ago, but you just keep on going because maybe they'll change. And I left my CDs in the truck.
Listen. I know that I'm supposed to watch it. It's one of those movies you're supposed to watch. It's a huge hole in my cinematography memory, but like I just knowing it's 3 hours long and it's sad as fuck. That's a tall task. You know what I mean? Like I don't know when I'm going to be in the movie in the mood to sit for 3 hours and be sad as fuck.
It really is it's super depressing. Because I'm just tired of people being ugly to each other. Ugly. I'm like, God, just show that man a fucking happy moment in his life. God damn, can we just do that?
Like
I never seen me one of them Flickr shows before. Flickr. And I was like, the only last time I ever heard of somebody call it a Flickr show was Mom. A Flickr show.
Ralphus is absolutely correct, by the way. The passing of the kidney stones did turn me off because the only thing I remember that movie is Tom Cruise taking a piss. He's like, it's like I'm pissing razor blades.
Tom Hanks.
And like, yeah, that scared me so fucking much that I don't ever want to have whatever he had. It was just kidney stones.
Feels like right? I'm pissing razor blades. Yeah, dude. I've never had a kidney stone, but I couldn't even imagine the pain. I know that it's up there with one of the worst pains that you could experience, is kidney stones. But yeah, well, I mean,
I got a sensitive tip.
Spoiler alert. Old Michael Clark Duncan grabs that old Tom Hanks wiener and heals him. He heals him in that movie. Spoiler.
Oh, it was a UTI. It was a UTI, not kidney stones.
Well, he grabs his dick and he heals him, which is what you got to do.
I've had one of those before. It wasn't that bad. Took some antibiotics.
Oh, all right.
That's
shit.
Shit. Emma, don't you my number 2 is going to be American Beauty. Now, I haven't watched this movie in a few years, but I have watched it about 50 times.
Isn't this just a documentary on the life and times of Epstein and his island?
Well, no, it's not that bad. He just
there's fucking what's his name in the movie, the main guy, yeah, and the girl, she's like 16.
Mm-hmm. Mia Servini, like, so. Let me explain. Like watching this in the 90s, it didn't seem that. It was weird. It was gross. Obviously, I had this fixation on this high school girl. But Kevin Spacey's character, up to that point, apart from him wanting to bang a high school girl, you really did feel bad for him. His wife was a piece of shit. She was a psycho nut. And when he, it's fucking funny, dude, because he's just this middle-aged man who works in this call center, and everybody treats him like shit. And he's like, "For you, Dave, I've got 5." Like his life is shit. He's treated like shit. And then he just has a mental break and he decides to go fucking full on punk rock fucking all. And he quits his job and he tells his wife to go fuck herself. He starts smoking weed with the kid from Yellowstone who like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen with the bag, which is what everybody remembers.
Oh yeah, that's
and it's wild to watch Kevin Spacey. He's so dude. I know Kevin Spacey's got a bunch of shit. By the way, acquitted on a lot of it, so hopefully it's not.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Who knows?
But when in doubt, when they start accusing you of some horrendous things, just say I'm gay. I couldn't have done this.
Like,
I couldn't have done this.
Yeah. Things. Let's put the Kevin Spacey stuff in a box, set it over here, and just concentrate on this. Kevin Spacey's one of the greatest actors of our generation. There's no doubt about that. I don't think you can argue that at all.
He is good.
Yeah. Between this, The Life of David Gale, some of the other great movies he's done. But dude, he's so good in that movie as a guy who's just middle-aged and just has a breakdown, and everybody treats him like shit, and he decides, fuck it. He quits his job. He decides to live the youth that he never lived. Obviously, that comes with the caveat of him wanting to bang a high schooler, which is not okay and fucked up. But apart from that, it's so funny, dude, when he's working the drive-thru window and his wife pulls up with the king of real estate. And it's just, the whole thing is just hilarious and also haunting and also entertaining. And dude, I love that movie, dude. It feels like David Fincher directed it, even though he didn't.
It's depressing as fuck.
It is depressing, but also really entertaining and funny. Like it's
it was just like that movie. I like that movie. I don't have it on my list, but I did like that movie. But it's basically Michael Douglas and Falling Down without any of the cool shit going on.
Yeah, kind of
like
a suburban
house. Yeah, that's all it is. That's what he's doing. But yeah, it's a good movie. It was maybe that's what I haven't watched it in a long time, so I don't remember much about it. But I remember it was a weird, depressing movie. It kind of made me feel the same way as Donnie Darko did for a reason. I don't know. Like it just made me feel weird.
Absolutely, that's probably why I love it so much. It does have Donnie Darko vibes, and it's a movie that, like, again, another movie that as well would not be made today. Society does not have the nutsack to make this movie today, for all it says. And again, I don't agree, obviously, with the fact that he's trying to bang a high school kid.
I don't remember. I think. I can't remember, but I thought he turned out to be a decent kind of guy toward the end because he doesn't reciprocate the attraction back to or he realizes what he's doing is wrong, and then he like breaks it off, and then he gets fucked. But I think because I think she was coming on to him. I don't remember how it goes, but yeah, it was a weird movie. It was definitely weird.
Well, and not just that, but like, so how old are we when this came out? I'm 14 years old.
I was 15, yeah, so 14, 15.
Right. So, and I think, and again, I haven't watched it in a while, but like watching this movie at that age was weird because it was like at that age you start to realize how fucked up the world is and how money runs things and power runs things, and most adults are just empty-minded, dumb pieces of shit who just do what they're told. And there was something about this movie and watching it at the same time as realizing that about the world, just like really just fucking hit me. Like, and I was like enamored with this movie. I watched it all the fucking time. It was not scared to like take the Tupperware top off, how fucked up and mean and weird everything was. And I just fucking adored it, man. I love the shit out of it. I need to watch it.
It was a good movie. It's a great movie. I have to go back and watch it. I haven't watched it in a minute. But so my number one, we're not going to go into too much detail on it because we've already talked about it at length.
Hang on. Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
What's happened?
I want to do something first. Everyone in the chat, and we will not tell you if you're right or wrong. We're going to give us our answers. But everybody take a prediction. What do you think my number one is? What do you think Jay's number one is? Let's run through those first.
We'll let that percolate. Let that stew in your brain stem.
Yeah, and for each of us, what's my number one? What's Jay's number one?
Well, I think I was kind of close to saying. I don't know if somebody picked it up on it, but anyway, I like our list. I think both lists are solid dicks, solid snakes. I like
old dicks.
Like if I walk
says Fight Club, Idle Hands. Jeremy Sauce says Idle Hands.
It ain't gonna be Idle Hands.
I was like, fuck that. Says Jace is the Matrix. Big Joe Grizzly says,
Adrian, you missed a layup because you could have said no. Jay's number one is two men rubbing pee-pee holes together, or whatever you said earlier.
He hinted earlier.
Hey, dude, I gave you a Kobe layup, and you were like, "Nah, I ain't gonna do it."
Festa says, if it's not faculty, fuck you. Well, fuck you, Mister, because faculty didn't come out in 90.
Yes. No, you're on IMDb, and come back later when you have studied.
Azteca says, Summer of Sam. That's a good movie.
That is a good movie.
Boondock Saints, take it or leave it. Boondock Saints, I think Jay and I will give you this. we both agree that is the most overrated movie of 1999.
I know, and that's gonna we've just lost like 2,000 followers on Twitter by saying it, but it is what it be. We watched
ass, bro.
Dude, it's bad. I was like watching, I was like shit. When I watched, it's like fuck this. This ain't fucking tough. I never liked that movie, dude. I don't know what it was. My youngest brother was like obsessed with Boondock Saints, and like he watched all the sequels and stuff, and he jacked off to it, I'm sure, in his weird little cavern where he watched it. But
shut the fuck up.
I can't really say much more about that. But I just
He's
never
not
got
talking
into
about Cody, by the way.
No, not Cody. My youngest brother is who I meant. But anyway, yeah, it's not my cup of tea, as it were.
Deep Blue Sea.
Did we do a commentary for that? I thought we did something for it. Either we did a review for it or a commentary. I don't remember. We did something. We gave it a chance. I gave it a chance because I had never seen it, and it was just bad.
I'm gonna guess Jay's number one is The Matrix. Jay, what do you think my number one is?
I'm gonna guess your number one is Big Fred and Big Sal rubbing pee-pee holes together. I know it's not gonna be right. I know it's not gonna be right, but I would say just because you've got some gay in you, 10 things I hate about you. Even though I love that movie, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just feel like it's gonna be that.
End of Days, says Section 6, great film.
I wanted to put it on my list, but I couldn't manage it.
My number, or no, I think you go first. Yeah.
Okay. It's The Matrix.
By the way, I'm guessing Jay's is The Matrix.
Yeah. God, Mike loves the sound and taste of my wiener. He knows me so well. It's definitely The Matrix. And again, well, I already kind of spoiled it because I said we talked about it pretty much a lot. So there's not much. I don't need to go into why it's, in my opinion, the best movie of 1999. It set the bar for a lot of films after that. Like a lot of films tried to match up what The Matrix did. And to be fair, it was groundbreaking in the science fiction films for a lot. I mean, it really was. I mean, if you look at somebody mentioned it earlier, The Sixth Sense was like a new genre, or The Blair Witch, a new genre of horror. Like I feel like The Matrix did something that really hadn't been done in science fiction since like fucking Star Wars or Star Trek or something. Like just mind-blowing shit. Like you're like, holy fuck, dude, this is crazy town. The only thing that I think that was missing is I wish that Morpheus had just looked at the camera one time and said, free your mind and the rest will follow. Be colorblind. Don't be so shallow. They were hot as fuck. them chicks. But yeah, The Matrix, dude. And again, if you missed it, we talked about it quite a bit at length earlier on in the stream. But overall, amazing premise. Never seen anything like that before. Action sequences off the chart, soundtrack amazing, cast amazing, chemistry between everybody was great. I loved all of it. Like it still left itself. The ending of that movie, there was so much left that you didn't know, and the intrigue that could have been in the sequel, they just ruined it with the sequel. I feel like once he flew away, you're like, oh man, it's gonna get good, and they have so much to cover. But I think Mike was right. Once they started playing around more with the real world, as it were, and talking more and more about Zion, and then the Sentinels, it became like it just took away the underground value of it. I don't know, but The Matrix forever will be such a. I remember getting The Matrix on DVD for Christmas one year, and it was like, I was like, that's so hot.
That's right. I remember strictly getting the VHS for Christmas with that shiny cover and being like, we're watching this tonight while I eat the rest of the chocolate pie.
Good times. Diabetes.
Indeed. My number one, many of you guessed it right. Jay did not, you fucking piece of shit. Do you even know me? Are we even friends? You fucking fuck. It's Fight Club.
Shit, I should have, dude. I swear to God, I did. That's honest to God. I'm retarded. I should have fucking known that because this guy gives more hand jobs to David Fincher's wiener than his wife. I can't believe I missed that one.
This is me watching Finch movies.
Yeah, doing that old. Yeah, he does that Trump shimmy on that wiener. I should have. Oh, shit, I should have totally got it. Fight Club's amazing. It's not on my list, but it's definitely in my honorable mentions. But yeah,
dude, this movie. Fuck. It honestly, it takes American Beauty and it mixes it with. I don't know where I was going to go with that, but like it says so much about society as a whole. Going back to what I mentioned before about like being at the age that we were, the impressionable age, realizing that society's full of shit, realizing that everyone's full of fucking hot doo-doo plates. Fight Club was amazing for that. And also you've got this one character in Edward Norton, who's one of my favorite actors at the time for sure. He was doing a bunch of great shit. And then Brad Pitt being who he was, and just man, that movie, I must have watched it 1,000 times growing up on the DVD, and didn't even know who David Fincher was at that point. Didn't know anything about the director, nothing. Just loved this movie, what it stood for, how dark it was, how twisted it was, how funny it was, how just, man, everything, the script, all of it, the way it ends up. It's just a weird movie. There's no other movie like it on planet Earth. There's no movie on planet Earth you could look at and go, that reminds me of Fight Club. I really don't think there is. I mean, am I wrong in saying that? Like, is there a single movie that you look at and goes, that reminds me of Fight Club? No, Fight Club is a one of one. There's nothing like it. So again,
and it came out in 99. And I know that we always give praise and we talk about the fact that Joker was groundbreaking, or at least it brought to the forefront the idea of like mental health and what that does to a person. Fight Club was one of the first movies that did that shit back in 99. I mean, this guy was going through some major shit. And like, again, I don't know who has not seen this. Probably a granny somewhere in a retirement home maybe hasn't seen this movie. But if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it because it's got an amazing ending. It does. It has one of the best twist endings out there outside of a Shyamalan film for sure. And it's amazing.
Even if you don't love the ending of it, like just the ride that it takes you on, and it's also really funny too. Like the fact that he's so fucked up. I don't think we were all enamored with really fucked up people at that point for some weird reason with American Beauty and shit like that. Any Given Sunday, a lot of these movies, 8mm, they explored like the underworld of life. Like,
they were given more of a. They were given. It was one of the few times that you saw. Now it's like every other every other movie has got like this realistic twist on the film. But back then, a lot of like sunshine and rainbows. The world ain't sunshine and rainbows. But so when you had a movie, it came out in 99, like these kind of movies where they were like a lot more grounded and raw and real, or felt real. Then it was like it was like holy shit.
Yeah, it took the disenfranchised and it made it cool. In a crazy fucking way. And it was also really smart, and like the dialogue was really smart, just like a Quentin Tarantino movie would be. Something like that mixed with this just absolute dread that overlaid this entire movie, but also the comedy and the interesting characters. And it was fucking dynamic as shit. Like every 5 minutes something crazy was, someone was burning someone's hand, there was a fist fight, just let us stay, Lou, like all that shit. Just the movie was, every second of that movie was a fucking Roman candle. Like
what's shocking too is maybe it was, I don't remember. I don't think it was nominated for any kind of Academy.
Probably not.
In 99. And I would have thought at least like I would have given at least Brad Pitt a nomination for Best Supporting Actor in a movie for that.
100%, dude. It was so fucking good.
For that
and what
role,
it said about society, like you've got this one character in Edward Norton who played by the rules and did everything right, but he's depressed as fuck. When his apartment blows up and he's standing out there and he's so just distraught with the world. He's like, his apartment blows up and he's just like, oh, how embarrassing is that? A fridge full of nothing but condiments, like all that stuff was so fascinating. But then you find out like the cool underground stuff was actually really dark and fucked up too in its own way. That movie said so much. It was entertaining. It had everything you want in a fucking movie. And again, one of the things that makes my favorite movies is when you can look at them and go, there's nothing like it. There's nothing in the fucking entire universe that compares to Fight Club. I'm not saying it's the greatest movie of all time. I'm just saying that there's nothing like it. There's no movie like Fight Club.
It's a unique movie for sure. I just wish Blind Al had come in when Edward Norton had said that after his apartment blew up. It's like, I can't hear you with that pity dick in your mouth. What are you saying? What are you saying?
Well, and even the shit that he was saying about working for Ford or whatever the company was working for, how they just like glaze over all the defects and shit.
I thought Edward Norton was amazing in that movie, but I just remember Brad Pitt being so phenomenal and so magnetic in that movie, and not because he looked great with his sweaty abs and body fighting, because he was great as far as his acting ability in that movie. But Fight Club is unique. I will give you that. I'm sure that someone in the comments will go, well, then you need to check out this. Broaden your horizons, you silly fucks. I'm sure that someone's going to say there's a movie like it, but I personally have never seen a movie like it. So you're right on that. No. I think it is a very unique movie.
Yeah, me either. There's not even a David Fincher movie like Fight Club for me.
I mean,
so,
they could have
hey,
probably played around with that idea in Joker if it had been an all, like I thought they were going to do that, like in Joker 2, where it was like, well, they kind of was. It was a split personality, but it wasn't like the same thing. It wasn't like he was hallucinating. Well, I guess it was, but I don't know. But Fight Club is
still different.
It's by itself on a hill.
So I'm going to do something with this that we haven't done with any of these lists before, just because I'm curious. And let me say before I do this, let me say that I like Jay's list as much as I like my list. I would take his list as much as I would mine. I like them both, but I'm curious to see what you guys think on your own personal tastes. Neither answer is right, but on your own personal taste, I want to put up a poll and be like, which of these two, if you had to pick one of these two, of these 10 movies, which one would you pick? We have a lot of the same movies in there. We both have 8mm. We both have Dogma. We both have actually
Stir
we don't
of
have
Echoes.
that.
Stir of Echoes.
Stir of Echoes and The Matrix. So we have 4 of the same movies.
Yeah.
And then 6 different ones though. So I'm
Mike's always
I
I feel like we're in Step Brothers. Mike's always trying to make his verse. I feel like goddamn George C. Reilly sitting at the table. Like, you know what? I've been looking into like raising rabbits for meat. That's one of the few goals in my life is raising some rabbits for meat. I'm gonna throw up, I swear to God. That is an interesting, like what you guys would pick if we both were Blockbuster employees and then we had our employee picks of the month or employee picks of the year and you walked in, which one would you gravitate toward more?
Yeah, exactly. There's no right answer. This is not like
they're both good. They're both good lists. I mean, it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah. This is
like, but Jay's been giving me that free extra punch hole on my fucking rental card when he didn't have to.
Yeah, again, this is not to say who's right or who's wrong because they're both great lists. I'm just curious, like, which way. Like, it gives you guys an interesting thing to talk about in your own mind.
I honestly, I will honestly take both lists because I feel like they're both a good they're both a good combination of films with varying different types of, like, I don't know. I think they're good. I think they're both good.
Yeah, like and again, literally every movie in your list I have in my
honorable mentions. Well, I'll get to mine really quick. So I gotta go pee. So I'm gonna go tell. 10 Things I Hate About You is in my honorable mentions. I love that fucking movie. That movie is great. We talked about American Pie capturing the 90s high school experience better than any other movie, in my opinion. But I think that 10 Things I Hate About You comes in a close second to that. Blast from the Past, we talked about that. That's a great fucking movie. Varsity Blues, it's on Mike's list. I loved it as much as he did, but it just didn't make my list. The Mummy, amazing. Deep Blue Sea, I do have it in the honorable mentions. It's a stupid movie where you can, just literally watch something with the plot is like wet diaper, and it's a wet diaper, but you're having fun with it. And I mean, who could go wrong with LL Cool J being a chef and like kicking some ass? We love that. It also had a shocking death in that because Thomas Jane didn't make it out, which he was a main character. So you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Big Daddy, for obvious reasons. Fight Club is on my honorable mentions. And then I can't believe it didn't make your list because I thought it was going to. Detroit Rock City.
It's on my honorable mentions. Fucking great movie.
I've never heard a girl blow ass
shocked
before.
That wasn't on your list because I thought
I
you
almost put it on.
I
almost tossed out American Pie for Detroit Rock City, but I didn't wind up putting it in there because there's something that movie is good, but it also makes me feel very skanky when I watch it in a good way, but very skanky. Like I haven't washed my hair in 3 weeks. I don't know what it is, but it just kind of makes me feel like it's I never heard a girl blow ass before.
Harold and Kumar? No, that's Harold and Kumar. I'm thinking.
Yeah, Harold and Kumar. But dude, when they were in the bathroom and they heard that girl like blow ass, like they were talking about, that's how it was. Like girls farting and pooping was a myth. Like you just didn't hear about it. It was like Bigfoot. And then when you actually got to see it, that's like the CIA releasing like all the actual UFO landings. And you're like, oh my God, it's real. Or the Diddy tapes. And that'll never happen. But all right, I gotta go pee, but I'll be back soon.
Enjoy Pippi time. Okay, you muted your camera, so we're good there. All right, so my honorable mentions are as follows. I have a lot, so bring some toilet paper. 10 Things I Hate About You. Almost made my list. Great movie. Fucking hilarious. Again, it's one of those movies that back then is sort of a rom-com, but like they don't make them like that today. Like that was for everybody. Everybody enjoyed that movie. It was very Can't Hardly Wait and all those other movies. Great movie. Sixth Sense did not make my top 10, but I do appreciate what it did for movies. Office Space, a movie. I never loved Office Space the way everybody else loved Office Space, but I do find it funny as hell. Cruel Intentions was my fucking. So my 11 and 12 that I really had a hard time with. Stir of Echoes was my number 10. I had a really hard fight with my own self. I actually punched myself in the dick several times, put a finger in my butt just because I was feeling squirrely between my number 10. It was either going to be Stir of Echoes, Cruel Intentions, as we talked about, or it was going to be Payback with Mel fucking Gibson. Payback with Mel Gibson is one of the most rewatchable, fun Mel Gibson movies in his whole repertoire. It's a fucking amazing movie. It kind of just ends out of nowhere, but the lead up, man, when he's fucking wronged by his wife and his best friend and all that shit, and he goes and you watch him like steal people's suits and like steal people's credit cards and order a steak and like smoke cigarettes, like that whole lead up to his character was so fucking good. Payback with Mel Gibson is a great fuck. Okay, we're back. I enjoy Auto Hands. I never felt the connection. I never thought it was as great as everyone else did, but I still enjoy it. Dogma was in my list. Blair Witch Project, for obvious reasons, we talked about it. The greatest lead up to a movie of all time. Just the movie product itself couldn't really cross the line. Austin Powers, Spy Who Shagged Me, obviously. Dude, that movie has one of the most rewatch, like the Spy Who Shagged Me, Austin Powers, is one of the most poorly, time has done, it's one of the most poorly, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like,
time has not been kind.
Yes. Like, you go back and watch that now, and it's literally not as funny as it was back then. It's so weird.
Yeah. It was a lot of fart and poop jokes that we thought was funny, and then
which I love.
They're good, but then they kind of wore out its welcome. But I mean, there are still fun. Was that the one with Tom Arnold? It's like, what did you eat, boy? Or was that the first one? Who does number 2 work for?
Dude, it's one of those movies you go back and watch and you expect to laugh your ass off, and you're just like, you're kind of annoyed. Like, it's kind of annoying. Like,
how about no, weird. Scott? How about no?
But at the time, Toy Story 2. Listen, Toy Story is one of my favorite movies of all time. I always thought Toy Story 2 was not even close, but it still makes it. Blast from the Past. Election with Matthew Broderick, Reese Witherspoon, or was it Renee Zellweger? I was getting confused. Reese Witherspoon. Love Election. Great fucking movie. House on Haunted Hill. Bringing Out the Dead with Nick Cage. Great Scorsese movie. End of Days with Schwarzenegger. You're a fucking choir boy compared to me. A choir boy. That's great.
That should have been his election campaign for California. Fucking choir boy.
The fact that he wakes up in the morning and takes a fucking blender and puts like pizza and like protein and like alcohol in it.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I've literally done that drunk before. I was like, I wonder what all this shit tastes like together. I'm gonna take this leftover pizza from the refrigerator and put chicken nuggets Tyson after I microwave it on top of it.
And not just that, but Gabriel, whatever his name was, as the devil in End of Days, fucking great.
Yeah, and he was a shit. He was a player. He got the mom and the daughter in the bed at the same time. Yeah. I'm like, shit.
That movie is like, it's like the shitty action movie version of Devil's Advocate, but like I still love it, you know. Mm-hmm. And then finally, for love of the game, Kevin Costner, amazing fucking movie.
Did you have Never Been Kissed?
I did not.
That's a good one. I did like that movie a lot.
Enhance the Mechanism. Like, for love of the game's great fucking Kevin Costner movie. Gotta watch it.
It was good.
You guys are saying the world's not enough with Bond. Like, I love Pierce Brosnan's my favorite Bond. I love Daniel Craig. Pierce Brosnan's my personal favorite. Daniel Craig's the best. But like, GoldenEye is the only good movie I feel like.
Well, you know what? I can't fart on your faces on your pick because I like Die Another Day. And I know that movie sucked, but I like the movie and I like the Madonna. Think I'll die another day. I think that was I thought it was cool, dude. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of into it. I know it wasn't great, but it's still fun. But yeah, I agree. GoldenEye, GoldenEye is like top notch James Bond shit.
Nothing crosses that for me. So those are my honorable mentions. Gary B says my list is number 10, Payback. Fuck yeah, dude. I was talking about Payback Where You're Gone. I love that movie. It's a great Mel Gibson movie. Austin Powers.
He said Payback is like Mel Gibson's like that should be on his like tombstone after he came back after they were like, you're canceled. He's like, Payback.
Just the real story of Mel Gibson. American Pie, Dogma, Office Space, Sixth Sense, Big Daddy, End of Days, Matrix, Fight Club. Excellent list.
Yep, that's a good list. I can't argue with it. Office Space was a weird movie. I remember liking it, but I think maybe I was just too young to really get it. Now I get it. As you get older, you definitely get it.
Yeah.
But when you're younger, it's just it doesn't hit the same.
Yeah, like it was in my honorable mentions. I don't think it's as funny as other people do, but I do enjoy it a lot.
Mhm.
Dogma says my top 5 are The Matrix, October Sky, great Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Jake Gyllenhaal, great. Yep.
Pokemon, the first movie, I didn't even watch that. Sixth Sense and Duck, Carbine High School Massacre. Damn, I don't know what the fuck that even is.
It sounds like a very entertaining, informational type of film that I will avoid.
That's on us. That's on us.
I don't know what that is. Is it a comedy like Duck with the exclamation point? Duck! Carbine High School Massacre.
Gary B said he's probably the director of it. That's why that's the only thing I could think. Gary B said, didn't Rounders come out? No way, because
Rounders.
We I don't think it was 99, dude.
That was
I think
in one
we
of my
talked
previous
about it.
lists.
Yeah, it was 98 or 97.
Adrian Ibarra says Trump got the NFL players doing his little dance now. Not just the NFL players, but the UFC fighters doing it now.
Everybody's doing it.
It's pretty funny. I'm not like, however you feel about it, I think it's funny to watch people like
that. Just that's I literally look like that when I try to dance. Like it's the same. It's the old go-to. The old go-to.
Adrian said Green Mile is solid but overrated. The book is way better.
I heard. I don't think I read the book. Because I was shocked that it was a Stephen King film. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure the book. Well, that's usually the case for most of it anyway. Like the book is always going to be better. But
yeah, I never read the book either. Obviously,
but to be
I'm
fair,
surprised you haven't read the book though.
Well, no. To be fair though, you imagine like that film, The Green Mile is like it's not a 3-hour film, but it feels like a 3-hour film. So they actually did put a lot of material in that movie. As far as like a theatrical movie, usually you have a movie like that where I could have easily seen them making The Green Mile in '99, like a TNT made for TV kind of movie, like like what they did with like Storm of the Century or something,
or Tommy Knockers and shit like that.
That movie sucked, but yeah,
it's bad. So did The Stand. Well, The Stand was all right. It was just long. Tim McChicken said, "Could Slender Man sing Crying Game by Boy George?"
Me know what they is to me about the crying game. Oh my God. I can't believe he kissed a man when he told me she's a woman. There was a wiener. Me didn't see it coming.
Okay, so I went backwards on the chats there, so let me scoot back over here real quick.
Boot scoot boogie.
Way down the other on Chattahoochee.
Well, you know what's going to be really interesting? We're not going to do. I know we were talking about doing the legendary stream where we're going to do all the '90s movies versus each other or something like that. But what would be interesting as far as decades go, '80s versus '90s, and take. I don't know how we would do that because you'd have to take all of our lists that we've done from '80 to '89 and let people vote on it, and then that winner would take on the 90 to 99 list, and then those would be I don't know, it would be complicated.
So our top 10, and we'll do this. I think this will be the next one of these streams that we do. I don't know exactly when, but like the next stream we do, because next up is 2000, right? So the next stream that we do will be our top 10, not the next stream, but the next stream of these that we do will be our top 10 movies of the 90s overall. But it'll be easier for us because we'll be able to look back at our top 10 of each of the movies and pick our top 10.
That's
which
gonna
is
be hard, dude. I mean, like that's a research and a half. I don't like it. By the way, when we're doing 2000 to 2000, I guess 2000 to 2010, so a decade. That makes sense. But I will tell you this: anything from 2010, to 2024, that's more than a decade. I understand, but I'm saying the pickings get slim a little bit, in my opinion, and I can hear a tumbleweed fucking go across the street when I'm thinking of trying to figure out a top 10 list for like 2020.
Well, so when we have the 90s, and the 90s will be done after this stream. So we'll be able to do our top 10 of the 90s, right? And then we'll start doing the 2000s. And then once we're through the 2000s, we'll have our top 10 of the 2000s. And then what we can do is we can have a Friday night fight, and we could do 2000s versus 90s. And we could do our top 10 90s movies versus our top 10 2000s movies and figure out which decade was better.
Yeah,
it's undoubtedly got to be the 90s.
But then I know, but we got to, the 80s is going to be in there too. A lot of people are going to ask about the 80s.
I think we'll have to eventually go back and do the 80s. It's tougher.
I know that's all the comments. Sometimes I like do a top 10 or do a decade of the 70s. I could not I couldn't do it. I there's a lot of movies that came out in the 70s that I could rustle up a top 10, but not anywhere near what I just, because when I was watching movies as a kid, I don't remember watching. I very rarely watched a lot of 70s movies.
Yeah,
So,
I think we'll definitely do that. I think probably what we should do is do the 2000s and then do the 80s, right? Because the 80s is gonna be rough because we don't.
I think
know
the
that
90s. I think the 90s would be worse. I think the 90s is going to be the worst decade to try to pull it together a top 10 out of all the movies from 1990 to 99.
Because it has the best of the movies. I think the 90s is in my opinion, and this may sound like shit, but in my opinion, the 90s is the best decade of film in history.
Well, that's because we grew up with it, though. But that's the difference. I mean, we're I'm 40, and Mike's close to it. So the 90s now for us is the 80s for people that were growing up in the 90s. Like, yeah, no, the 80s was the best, but it is what it is. I feel like honest to God, I feel like the 2000 to 2010 was the last time that movies were like really well done. You know what I mean?
No,
of course, movies have come out since then that are good and they're amazing. Obviously, I'm not saying that every movie that's come out after 2010 has sucked, but I feel like you had so much good shit. Good shit. You ever had your shit pushed in, Jake?
Trading Day. Which I don't think we've got. No, that's 2000s movie. I don't think we've gotten to that one yet. So in the case of the poll that we put up, it is fucking tight. But it looks like Jay's top 10 wins 52% to 48%. You guys would choose Jay's list. And, I'm going to quit the channel and just go live as a hermit.
Call for a recount, bitch. Call for a recount.
Stop the steal. Stop the steal. Okay, so that's the list there. I have to take a pee-pee time now.
Oh, okay.
In the case of Super Chats, we are at 10:26 p.m. with Michael Partan, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Whoops.
Oh, I was making a face. Michael Parton, thank you so much, says there's also Ravenous and Stigmata. Yeah, I know Ravenous. I can't remember much about it, but I remember it. But I Stigmata, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. The problem with Stigmata, in my opinion, it dragged on, and then the payoffs weren't really worth it. I don't know. It was a good movie. I just felt I always felt like it was a Wish.com Exorcist or something. I don't know. It really didn't hit for me, but I'm glad you like it. What's your goddamn name? Stormtrooper profile pic. Adrian LaBelle 1138. No Phantom Menace. Fuck no. Get out of here with that Jake Lloyd shit. The only cool part about the Phantom Menace was Darth Maul, 1000%, and the fight sequence that happened. Duel of the Fates. The music was god tier. Duel of the Fates. Darth Maul, double-bladed lightsaber taking on Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, god tier. Amazing. That was the best part. Everything else, bullshit. Didn't like it. Weird. Not my thing. Michael Parton also says, would you guys do a top 10 for 70s and 80s? Well, we talked about that. I probably couldn't, personally, I couldn't do like the 70s justice because I didn't really watch those movies a lot. I know there's a few that I enjoyed, but I couldn't probably make a top 10 list for the entire decade. And then I think we've done the 80s. I swear to God we have. But if we haven't, but I'm pretty sure we have. And with that, we have caught up. Jordan says, Jar Jar rules. You are high right now, sir. I don't want to talk to you right now. Even though, did you guys know about the idea? And again, I don't know if this was cope from George Lucas. I don't know if this was just like, well, nobody liked that character, but the original idea was he was going to be the secret Sith Lord. I don't buy that. I really don't think that's true. It could have been. I just don't think it's true. I think that was like some copiism from George Lucas. He's like, well, actually, if I had been able to do it the way I wanted to do it, I don't believe that's true. Hi, Brian. Adrian says 70s is arguably the best decade for movies ever. And that could be true. I personally don't have a lot of knowledge of that decade as far as like movies that came out per year to make a top 10 list. Mind the Gap says that sounds like an internet theory. No, I mean that's what that. I swear to God, dude, that's what it was. Like the original idea or the script idea behind Jar Jar Binks was that George Lucas was going to make Jar Jar Binks the big bad Sith Lord at the end. That's what I heard. Action says Kentucky won. Oh, did we? Are we playing? Brandon says Jar Jar stinks. Yeah, he smells like dead fish.
Yeah, we're playing fucking Lipscomb. We better win. What's the score though? Because I had UK plus 20.5. It is.
Jay, Life was one of the best comedy movies ever in '99. You gonna eat your cornbread? Yeah, it was a good movie. The thing about Life was with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. I did like that movie, but it always felt it didn't live up to what I expected it to be. Like I feel like they tried to shoehorn some drama in there, and it just didn't work. You know what I mean? Like it was a good movie, but I thought it was mainly going to be mostly a comedy, and then they tried to do some like drama shit, and I feel like it was out of place. It just didn't work. But
talking about Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence.
Yeah,
dude. As a kid, I loved Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy, and I really wanted to love that. And I remember watching it and being like, "This shit sucks."
Well, I feel like at the time I was like, yeah, it's going to be great because Martin Lawrence is a comedic powerhouse, and then obviously Eddie Murphy's a legend, and I feel like they were going to bounce off each other really well, and it was going to be like almost like not like a complete slapstick, but mostly a slapstick comedy. And then they tried to add some like real world like drama shit or like the drama, and I was like, yeah, you know what, it kind of lost me there.
Yeah, no, that's how I felt too. I was like, why is this so serious? Like, you know what's great movie, dude, is Blue Streak with
shut
Blue
the
Streak.
fuck up.
No, dude,
you like that movie?
I love Blue Streak, dude. I thought that shit was hilarious.
Oh my god, the only blue streak you have is in your underwear when you fucking been working out too long.
I like Blue Streak, and I love Metro with Eddie Murphy. I love that movie as a kid. Fuck, there was another one. Yeah, you didn't like Metro? I love Metro.
Hell no, dude. I didn't like. No, I don't remember. Well, I feel like for me, what dominated with Eddie Murphy was The Nutty Professor. Like, I feel like The Nutty Professor was such an awesome film, and he did such a great job with those characters. And I don't know. I feel like in the '90s, that's what he was. So everything like Metro, all that shit, I didn't care about any of that stuff that came out afterwards. No, I feel like Metro was like an attempt to do like Beverly Hills Cop again or something, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, no, I get that. I National Security was pretty funny with Martin Lawrence too. Like, it wasn't great, but it was just pretty funny, I thought.
Dude, it's weird because Martin Lawrence, outside of Bad Boys, I don't remember any movie that he did that I was like, oh no, I'm sorry, Bad Boys and Nothing to Lose when he was opposite Tim Robbins. That was great. And then, but other than that, like he really didn't have any knockout hits when he did solo movies. Like nothing.
No, and his show was great. My Inn.
Yeah. How y'all feeling?
Yeah, that was great. Angie Barrow said Gladiator 2, Moana 2, and Wicked all dropped this Friday. Dude, I saw the ads for Wicked, and granted, listen, it's not in my demographic at all, but like that movie looks annoying as fuck. Like you could not pay me. Well, I wouldn't watch that movie for $70. Like
Wicked. Apparently, the Broadway is really good. I don't know. That's what everyone was going off of, and the idea. Like, first off, I really don't know why the Wicked Witch of the West needs a backstory about why she became evil. What I'm getting tired of this shit. Like, it just seems like a trend happening in Hollywood where they're taking like iconic villains and giving them these pointless backstories about why they're evil. Why can't they just be fucking evil? Why can't they just be fucking evil? I don't need the backstory on why somebody called me fat and green. And that's why I said, fuck it, I'll burn Emerald City to the ground.
I don't know anything about the story. I just saw it.
No, I mean, that
every
didn't
character
happen.
just looks annoying as fuck to me.
That didn't happen, but like it just like I don't care enough. I didn't even want. No, I did. I did take that back. The James Franco, the Oz movie. What a fucking shithole movie that was. Oh my god.
And that was directed by Sam Raimi, and I didn't even care.
Yeah, it was awful.
You know?
But yeah, as far as Gladiator 2, I hope it does well. I really do. I don't know if it will. I mean, apparently it's tracking to be decent. But dude, listen, does Gladiator need a sequel? I don't really see it. I feel like Gladiator was such a Gladiator was a movie that ended exactly like it should have ended, and then you saw what was going to happen. Yeah, of course, there's stories to be told. You know, what happened after the king. You know, what happened in Rome after this occurred, but I don't care. You know, Russell Crowe was so dynamic and awesome in that movie. You got a perfect story. A slave became greater than a king or whatever. I don't know. I like, and to be fair, Pedro Pascal, I like him, but I'm kind of tired of the whole like fascination with it. Like, he's kind of becoming the new Tom Hardy in a lot of ways. Like, let's put Pedro Pascal in it.
I gotta see that. I'm excited to see it just because going to see it's gonna feel like you're in the 90s and watching a Gladiator movie on the big screen. So, and like, it's a big deal. Like, they got Denzel in it. They got fucking, again, it's missing fucking Russell Crowe. But dude, I didn't know this, but they had Russell Crowe got Nick Cave from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, who wrote Red Right Hand from Scream, to write a Gladiator 2 sequel. And I guess it never came to fruition for whatever reason. But no, I'm definitely going to go see Gladiator. I'm going to see it on the biggest fucking screen possible. Like, I'm really pumped about that.
Well,
but,
I mean, I will say I did miss. I never got to see Gladiator on the big screen when it came out. That had to be fucking badass as shit to see it in the theater.
I didn't get to see it on the big screen either. I wish I had.
Yeah,
That was the #1 DVD though. Like, when we were kids and like DVDs was first coming out, it was Fast and Furious and Gladiator and Rockstar were like the biggest DVDs. And I bought
Rockstar
maybe
not.
Rockstar.
For us, it was. I don't think Rockstar was like the biggest one. I mean, Fast and Furious was like a hot sell. Yeah, dude. I always wanted an Eclipse with like a green underglow and NOS. And I didn't even know what that shit was. I was like, yeah, I want to hit a button on my fucking non-existent stick manual shift gear so I can go fast and then race.
I always thought that. Even as a kid, I watched that movie knowing all the hype was behind it and like thought it sucked. I was like, I don't get it, you know?
I liked it okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, going back and watching it, it's fine. DJ Graham said number 10, Blue Streak. Number 9, The Matrix. Number 8, American Pie. Deep Blue Sea. Blair Witch Project. House on Haunted Hill. Big Daddy. Green Mile. The Mummy. Number 1, Life. Damn.
A lot of people did like it, man. I personally, it wasn't my cup of tea.
I do wonder. I wonder if going back and watching Life today would make me like it a lot more.
Well, I can't remember. Was it Martin Lawrence? I think Martin Lawrence was falsely accused. I can't remember if it was that. And then he goes to the big house and then he's with the other prisoners. And then I don't know, man. Like, I just remember. No, I feel like it was sold as like a type of comedy, and then it really didn't pan out when I watched it. Like, I was like, yeah. And I remember buying it on DVD because I didn't see it in the theater. I remember buying it on DVD because I thought it would be good because Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence were in it. And I was like, it was going to be an instant classic. And I was just like, yeah, I'd probably pass on that.
That's a good question, by the way, for you guys. What was the first DVD you ever bought? Like, what was your all's first and second DVD you ever bought?
Rockstar was mine.
Adrian Barrow said the first DVD he ever bought was Perfect Storm. Mark Wahlberg, George Clooney. I get that because you're looking for the special effects and whatever, because at that time it was a big deal. Michael Parton said Wicked was the first Broadway musical I saw when I was 5, and I've loved musicals since, but I probably won't see it, and I hate that they're splitting it in 2. I didn't know
they were doing that. I didn't know.
It's like some Lord of the Rings shit.
Well, and I know that right now the Wicked, and it could be a good adaptation. I don't know, but I know that the chick that's playing the Wicked Witch of the West has had a meltdown, and like. Just stop fucking running your mouth online and saying stupid shit. Like, I know that it was over something very like.
Oh, was it one of those woke things? Like one of that?
Well, it really wasn't woke. All it was that it was a fan, by the way. It wasn't even like, it wasn't some hater or some asshole or whatever. It was just a fan. All they did was they took the poster that they're showing for Wicked in the movie theater and they made it look like the Broadway musical poster. And then she got offended and say they were trying to hide her face and they were doing this or that. And it was all over, it was identity politics. And I'm like, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, just shut the fuck up. Shit. It was a fan that did it. It was not a hate. It wasn't somebody that was like hoping the movie fails. And she doubled down on it. But yeah, I didn't know they were splitting in 2. Personally, when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, I could care less. But I know that the Broadway play was like incredible. Like, a lot of people loved it. But I don't know. And it goes back to the idea, like, I just don't need a backstory for villains, dude. Or constantly,
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. And honestly, like Ariana Grande, and like she seems annoying as fuck to me. Like, I have no like I watched the trailer for it, I was like, that shit looks annoying. just for me personally. No, for no other reason than that movie looks annoying. Teacher Game said Martin Lawrence wants to be a cop so bad. How many movies he's been a cop? Sure, dude. And he's either a security guard or a cop.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't. When's the last time that Martin Lawrence just played a regular dude in a movie?
Big Mama's House was great. I did like Big Mama's House.
Oh yeah, Big Mama's House. Yeah, but it was Big Mama's House.
Well, wasn't he an undercover cop in that though?
I think he was.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know. I get it confused with the Medea films, so I can't. I don't remember. Like they all blend together.
He's fucking hilarious. So wasn't he in Four Weddings and a Funeral? Whatever that movie was.
I
That
think
shit
he
was underrated.
That was really fucking funny. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, James Marsden was in that. Nighttime said first DVD I ever laid eyes on was Bruce Almighty. Okay, that was right about the right time for sure. You guys talking about your first DVD that you bought? Let me scoot back here a little bit.
I remember getting. I got Rockstar. I went to Walmart and I got Rockstar and I got a DVD player. That was the first because I didn't have a DVD player and it was for my birthday and Big Dad got me a DVD player and he got me Rockstar and I was like, dude, that and it was fucking. And new Rockstar is so goddamn underrated. It's ridiculous how underrated that movie is. I mean,
my mic stand and I'm taking it.
It's coming in number one when we get there.
So what I did was I went to the mall with friends and we had a Suncoast Video and you went to Suncoast Video and everything was like $30. Like everything was way more expensive than you could buy. But I did buy DVDs there and I bought Fast and the Furious and I bought Gladiator. And then I went to another store the same day and bought Rockstar. But I remember taking Fast and the Furious home and putting it on and it would not play. Brand new. Like it wasn't used. It was brand new. Wouldn't play. First DVD I ever bought would not work. No matter how many times I tried, I was fucking pissed. But I had Gladiator and then again Rockstar. Rockstar played. Fucking loved it. It was great. King Ace Hernandez says Beyond the Mat, the wrestling documentary. D. Lands was American Pie, Varsity Blues.
That's a good combo.
Good time. Big Joe said The Big Lebowski.
You're only saying that because your name is Big Joe.
Kyle was X-Men 2. That's a good name.
Sexual.
Brandon Reynolds was Evil Dead was my first. Hey, nice. And you know what? Like that was the thing when they came out. It was all like, to my recollection, it wasn't that they were putting a bunch of old movies. It was all new movies that were coming to DVD at the time. It wasn't like now where they take 4K and they put old movies on it. So that's cool. That's a rare thing that you see. Darkness Falls for Nicole.
I love it.
Spider-Man 2002. Spider-Man 2.
Maybe.
The Ring.
Get this away from me. I take it. I leave it.
Ron Barker said Castaway and Rain Man. Castaway was a big DVD.
Did you? Here's a question. Did you guys cry at Castaway? I did. At the end of that movie, when he comes back and everything's changed and his wife's moved on, and like that movie fucked me up a little bit. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like it was funny. Like I have made fire. Yes. When he makes fire on the beach, like it's so memeable. But that movie. At the end, I was like, "Holy shit, dude!" And then obviously when he did dental surgery and he has to take out that fucking tooth with his But dude, that movie made me fucking cry, dude.
I don't think I didn't cry, but I think I was fucking pissed because it was like, dude, he comes back from all this shit, and his wife is remarried to another fucking man.
How long he was on the island for? Like, was it 5 years? I don't know. It was a while.
It was a long time.
So I mean, I wasn't mad at her. I couldn't even imagine being in that particular situation and then coming back and everything's changed and everyone's moved on because they thought you were fucking dead. And then you're like, I was literally on the beach cutting my tooth out with a goddamn skate.
That shit pissed me off because it was such a good movie, but that ending pissed me off. It's like, give us a happy ending. We just had to live through all this shit. DJ said, first TV I got was Fast and Furious. Same, dude. Exactly. Suncoast Video. Big Lebowski again for Chase. That must have been a thing at the time. Aztec said, did you guys see Batman Beyond Year One, the fan film? Fight stunts were awesome. Warner Brothers need to stop being scared and go away from Bruce Wayne for once. Scared money don't make no money.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that 100% that I feel like the future Batman films and not I want to see the Batman 2, Robert Pattinson. I want to see what happens with Matt Reeves' story. I definitely want to see that. But you're right. I think that if DC ever decided to be like, we're going to take a chance here and go with the Batman Beyond type of idea. And you know what? It really sucks, dude, because we got to see Michael Keaton come back in such a shitty movie in The Flash. We got to see him come back, but how cool would it have been having Michael Keaton come back as Batman and being the mentor in Batman Beyond, and then having a new Batman where he was like basically the Alfred to that Batman. That would have been great, but
that would have been the way to go for sure. I don't need to. It's not like with the Joker where like I'm sick of seeing the Joker. Like we need to focus on Batman. So I don't need them to go away from Bruce Wayne per se. But you're absolutely right. Like that, if they had done that, would have been amazing.
Yeah. I feel like DC is in a unique position where they can actually tell stories outside of the normal, combined universe shit that Marvel does. You know what I mean? They can tell off stories. Like Red Sun would be an amazing movie.
Oh, dude, I wish they would do that.
Yeah, but they won't do it because I feel like they feel like people are stupid, and they're like, "What's this about?" Superman was born in Russia. Like they're
still in their own way trying to copy Marvel.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with James Gunn. I don't know. It feels like he's already like. I will give credit to James Gunn based on all the leaked photos and the leaked plot. Not really a leaked plot, but the leaked ideas that he's had. He wants to move the story ahead where we don't have to go through the origin story of every fucking character, which at this point you really don't need the backstory for Superman or Batman or the Flash or Wonder Woman. Really, you could let's just get in there. Let's just get in there and see what happens.
That I totally agree with. Like, I don't know what the James Gunn universe is going to look like, but I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to go into it excited. And I think that like just the idea that he doesn't want to do origin stories over and over again you're already off to a good step. I feel like
there's going to be a problem with Green Lantern though. Like it's gonna run into a problem with like the Ryan Reynolds stuff. Which, by the way, I know people shit on that movie. I understand why, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Green Lantern was okay. But I feel like people were mad about it when it came out because they were like, it was rushed. It was sloppily handled. I will say that the animated suit was fucking a terrible idea. It was dumb. I all that stuff. But I feel like it was. I feel like Ryan Reynolds did a good job as Hal Jordan. I feel like everything else was like, it was okay. I don't think it was the worst film I've ever seen in my life. But people act like it's the Black Plague of the comic book world movie.
Hey man, listen to me. Like I know that something you guys might not know is Jay and I are going to start in the coming months doing a lot of movie commentaries together where we clip apart the best parts of them and put them up as YouTube videos. And a lot of those are going to be first time watches, shit that Jay's never seen and stuff like that. But as we go through it, at some point, we should watch Green Lantern together and talk about that because I feel like there's a lot of great shit in that fucking movie, dude.
There really is.
And like,
I don't know what it was. I don't know. Maybe it just came out. You know what it was? I think what happened, and I'll have to look at the dates that they were released, but I think Green Lantern was released around the time that Iron Man had come out, and Iron Man was a cultural phenomenon. Like it knocked the socks off people. And when Green Lantern came out, that was DC's attempt to make a third tier character like Green Lantern as big as Iron Man, like what Marvel had done, and it just failed. It failed because they didn't have a right. The director wasn't the right guy, and the script was pretty weak. But at the end of the day, dude, I felt like it was a passable movie. I didn't think it was like people acted like it was literally like what's that horror movie with Frankie Muniz where it's a video game character that's coming out.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it. But
It didn't look like they shot it in their attic. It was decent.
Yeah, I like it, man. I really do. Adam said the first DVD I bought was Money Talks with Chris Tucker and Charlie. I remember that movie. That was one of those movies that came out you thought was going to be fucking hilarious, and then just like
that was just Charlie Sheen being Charlie Sheen. Like that was just itself.
I never watched it. I'd hoped it was going to be great though. Scream 3 first that makes sense around the timeline for sure. Castaway for Brandon. Holly's was Wayne's World, even though they already had it on VHS. Yeah, we did that too. Like, It's weird that you upgrade that way. By the way, like you upgrade comedies even though you don't need them to be on a better platform. It's just like I love this movie, so I'm gonna buy it on the new fucking.
Yeah, I remember I was like stoked when I got Indiana Jones trilogy on DVD because I had already got the collection. I'm like, oh my god, it's DVD. It's gonna be hot. And it was like,
and remember the thing that would come on? It's like you wouldn't steal a car.
yeah.
It was the time. It was a great time to be alive, man. Colton, we need a live commentary. So quotable, dude. I need to rewatch that. Apparently, I really need to rewatch that fucking movie.
Well, that'd be great. We could do it because I haven't seen it in a long time. So
yeah, that makes me want to rewatch it for sure. Maybe without having the expectations, it's good. DJ Graham said, "Death at a Funeral" was my introduction to Peter Dinklage. Dude, he was so.
Oh yeah, he was.
I
forgot he was in that. Yeah.
the remake, and it is a remake, I'm pretty sure, of Four Weddings or Death at a Funeral, whatever it was.
It is,
that movie is underratedly funny as shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, that's our show. That's what we do here.
Yeah, I felt like we were teachers right there, and the lesson planner. We were like, well, we have nothing else today, so I'm not gonna make you guys wait until the bell rings. If you want to work quietly among yourself, that's fine. I have a hangover right now, and I'm suffering from a breakup, so I'd rather you not ask me questions. But thank you for attending the class.
Great Jack Black movie, by the way. Probably one of his only really actually good movies was School of Rock.
School of Rock. Well,
Like,
no,
Jack Black's really overrated, I feel like, as
Orange County. Orange
Saving County's
Silverman.
fucking great, dude.
Yeah, Saving Silverman.
Yeah. Let me go some of your piss. That's true, dude. He had tiny roles in great movies.
I got ideas, man. I got ideas. I mean, they just come. I got ideas.
It's like the directory. It's like, you want to take off your pants and start the
Dude, I swear to God, the way that Jack Black acted in was it Orange County when they were and he's high as fuck, or I don't know if it was Orange County or Saving Silverman, but he was high on weed or something. He was like, I got ideas. That literally reminds me of like conversations that Mike and I have had, like blasted, and we're like, dude, I got so many ideas, dude. It's literally like my frontal lobe is melting with all the ideas I have.
I also love John Lithgow with that. He's like, I will eat your face.
Yeah, and then he goes
so good.
Orange County. He's like, he's Harold Ramis, because he directed that movie, and he goes to his house and he's like, he burns it down, and then what's his name comes to Ben Stiller. He's like, well, your name's Joe John. He's like, yep, Joe John. And I was like, you better not. He's like, yeah, but your name is Joe John.
Like, you said shoo-in. I love Orange County. But no, Jack Black was like, it's weird, dude, because Jack Black, he did Tenacious D, which is one of the funniest things you'll ever see in your fucking life. If you're bored tonight and you're looking for something funny, just YouTube Tenacious D HBO specials, and their shows on HBO were the funniest fucking thing Jack Black has ever done. But he was great in tiny roles like Orange County. But now that he's like, I'm doing Jumanji and I'm a big ass actor, and like, he's not been funny in a long time.
Well, you know, one of the biggest it wasn't a disappointment to me because I really didn't think it was going to be that good. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like Goosebumps, I'm like, yeah, it just didn't work. Like him trying to be like R.L. Stein and doing that shit. I was like, it's fucking dumb, dude. But yeah,
it's not the same, man.
Jack Black's not the guy. Well, yeah, I feel like he should just go back to his roots, dude, and do that kind of shit again. Like.
With God, always record. Rockets, all about rocket sauce. All of my fucking rocket sauce. All about rocket sauce. Hey,
the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. We love you guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. This has been fun as fuck. As always, you guys are the fucking best.
The bee's
as
knees.
Always. The bee's knees. We'll be live Friday night again. We'll do it again. We'll do something special. What should we do? I don't know. Comment down below. Tell us with your naked.
We'll
butt.
figure it out.
Spread your cheeks. Tell the world. We love you guys. Good night.
See you guys.
Thanks for hanging.